Drowning in devotion, I'm lost. Can't find a new emotion that's ever enough. And I can't deny it's real, 'cause there's no demon. Oh baby, yeah. 'Cause there's no deeper love than what we're feeling. There's no deeper Hello and welcome to the WESG European Qualifiers
presented by Razer. My name is Tasty Bacon. Joining me today is going to be High Jump, and we are just about ready to get into game for our first matchup of the day. We are in the quarterfinals for the overall tournament, semifinals for each of our groups, and our first matchup today is going to be France taking on Russia. High Jump, how you doing? If you can hear me. Can you hear me, High Jump? High Jump cannot hear me. High Jump couldn't hear me that whole time. Just went through, did the intro. The stream could hear me, but High Jump couldn't. So High Jump, how you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. I'm so excited for this. Was doing a bunch of research on both these teams, and I'm really excited to see what we've got planned for this second week of matches.
All right, well, we are just about ready to get into our first game of the day. We'll take a look at where we stand in the brackets right now. There's Group B. You can see Spain, Romania, United Kingdom, and Germany all moving on. But here in Group A, we have obviously this France versus Russia matchup that we just talked about. We're going to be getting into momentarily. But there's also Netherlands and Turkey, which will be coming up shortly after our first match finishes. You can see our schedule for the day right there on your screen. Immediately after France versus Russia, we will have Netherlands versus Turkey. But let's get into this France versus Russia matchup, High Jump. You see our rosters on the screen right now. We have the members who are going to be playing from these two rosters in game, ready to go. From France, it's going to be Hegman, Hero 1000, Millennium Academy, KOTP, and Oswald.
Yeah, we've got notice that we got a difference from last week. Instead of excuse me, we have Hegman stepping in this week instead of Cassius. So we won't. I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing that same Adagio style play. Hegman has been favoring Lyra, Lance, and Arden, at least in the summer series. So I'll be interested to see what kind of heroes he's looking to play and what role he'll fill with this super captain heavy team that we had of last week.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting for sure. But over on the other side for Russia is going to be Agony, Bastion, Evil Hawk, a.k.a. Ponchik, a.k.a. Donut, X-Dragon, and Imagination. And this is a pretty stacked lineup, right up there with Germany in teams of the, recognizable players from the VPL, from the Vainglory 8, and things of that nature.
Yeah, no, they had a dominating performance last week. For those of you who didn't watch the Russia stream, they dominated both their games. The first game was only like 16 and a half minutes. The second game, sub 14. It's just so amazing to see how strong these teams are and how well they're, staying as cohesive teams in this WESG format.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see for sure. Obviously, again, when you have all the players from one country, you're going to have that little bit of extra team synergy going on, because you don't have to worry about the language barrier. You don't have to worry about players not being able to communicate as well, because you all speak the same language for the most part across the board here. So a lot of these teams have actually gone on and have realized, hey, we work pretty well as a team. You look at Team Germany, who obviously dominated their matchups yesterday. They are now Team Sly for other events that are going to be happening. That exact same Team Germany roster has now become a full-on Vainglory roster. So really interesting to see what might happen as a result of this WESG format.
Yeah. It's a perfect way to build, kind of test out new teammates. WSG not being the main VPL, it gives you a chance to kind of have a little bit less pressure, even though I think the prize pool might be a little bit bigger. So it's really cool to see those kind of developments. I was rather surprised and kind of happy to see that announcement show up on my Twitter feed this week.
Yeah, and obviously we're just waiting on a couple of players to get themselves all set and ready to go. Once we have that taken care of, we will be getting into this game. Looks like we're just waiting on one more player to get themselves ready for getting in the lobby. We'll see. They were in the lobby, and then they just dropped out. So hopefully they can get themselves sorted out, and we can get underway. But until we are able to get them underway, High Jump, I know you've been doing a lot of looking into these teams and what they've played and what their mains have been, at least for the public knowledge. Because obviously some of these guys have hidden accounts that they like to keep things secret on. But what really stands out to you the most? Obviously, we've talked about France having a lot of captain mains. What else have you found in that research that kind of stands out to you?
So really, it's they're the fact that they're really well, like Russia is really well known. They kind of end up playing a lot of the same sort of style heroes as Germany did, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think it could just be one of the things that they could be just practice together, play against each other a lot, so they might think of the game in very similar ways. Seeing like lots of use of Finn in recent months, but we've yet to see it here on the stage. So it'd be interesting to see if that hero makes an appearance. But a lot of things though, for at least in public knowledge of Russia's, at least from when I was looking up information, even as late as last night, they don't play a lot on their main accounts, at least for ranked games. So it's hard to exactly get a read on what they're playing. Last week, they pretty much ended up running kind of similar style lineups as Germany. I think in game one we saw Agony on Malene, yet another user showing how just strong she can be. I'm actually really excited. I hope we get to see Imagination's Kestrel, because he went 11-0-5 last week on a CP Kestrel. So I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah, it should definitely be exciting for sure. As again, just trying to get these players ready to go. It looks like France is getting themselves onto their voice chat, and so as a result, a couple of players are getting knocked out of the lobby and trying to get them back in as soon as they are available. And it looks like France is now ready to go, so we are going to be kicking this one off, our first draft of the day. This is once again going to be France versus Russia. France will be on the blue side to start. Russia will be on the red side. And we are into our first draft. Here we go. Hegman will be on the clock for the first ban for Russia.
Looking like he's opting for a flicker ban here. First off, I'm glad to see that there's this week again we have no Yates, as he's not available for Glory yet. So there won't be the need to insta-ban him. I think Russia actually used their first ban last week in Game 1 for Yates as well.
Yeah, they were absolutely ready to not have Yates on the rise, but it is going to be that flicker ban taken off the board for the side of France. Russia will answer with Razer, so not really too surprising to see these two heroes taken off the board. They have both really come into their own on these most recent updates. 3.6 and 3.7 have been very kind to both Flicker and Razer.
Yeah, we don't need to see that Pulse Weave Flicker showing up. Last week, we had the likes of Lorelei and Arden being banned away by France in both games, but that could it could be just more targeting their opponent that time, or the fact that we had Cassius in instead of Hegman. So it could be wanting to free up one of those heroes for the likes of Hegman.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with the roster. As we've mentioned already before, they have a very captain-heavy lineup, so obviously some of them are going to have to go out of their comfort zone, but we saw a lot of those utility-type picks for the side of France last week. Kinetic and Anka both going to get banned away. Arden immediately first picked for the side of France. They're going to be happy with that. We actually saw Arden getting banned pretty frequently last week.
It was so it was banned each game by France. I like the way they did their draft here, knowing that they wanted to be able to get Arden or Lorelei. We can see Oswald hovering over it right here. So forcing France here to have to ban Anka, to not have to deal with that powerhouse of a hero, is very smart. But I think I would have also liked to see Russia kind of just potentially leave it in the pool. I think that they're the type of team that can deal with that hero. And in return, they could have taken Arden and Lorelei for themselves. But we do get to see the Silvernail.
Yeah, we are going to get Silvernail, which is always exciting. We didn't get to see much Silvernail in the VPL, but I am really looking forward to getting to see him here on the WESG stage, especially, members on the side of Russia, someone like Agony, who is known for playing a lot of these carries. I'm really excited to see what these pro players are going to be able to do now that they've kind of had a little bit of extra time to learn Silvernail and figure out how to bring him onto the rise and how to use him with the rest of the team to set up some really amazing plays. Lorelei and Elvira, triple captain thus far for France. Are we really surprised by this, though?
Not really at all. Going back to the Silvernail topic, we did see one team last week, at least from my research, picking it up. So I'm excited to see what can be done with these really technical heroes. For this Lorelei. Lorelei and Lyra, I like it. I think we had Oswald on Lyra in Game 2 last week. going 3-0-8. You basically look to play a just very supportive, like very support role, buying War Tread, Stormcrown, and Crucible. So probably just gonna see him sitting in lane, helping out, and just being able to put out a bunch of utility, which I really like against this Tony and Grumpjaw. There's nothing more infuriating than trying to dive into into the slowing field and just like crying deeply.
Yeah, it'll be it could, if it's played well, it can really counter those two extremely hard. And obviously, again, just the very, very utility focused side from France, going for a lot of these captains, and then even with their carries, very safe carries, very standard carries with the Vox, and now the locking in the Baron as well. They're both very long range, but it'll be interesting to me to see if they go with the CP Baron that we saw PT Lamb actually bringing out in the VPL, or will it be the standard weapon power Baron? Right now it's looking like it may end up actually being the Crystal Baron, and Russia, they have a much more carry-focused sort of team composition, as they are going to be locking in Celeste for the final pick, just to kind of emphasize that hard carry sort of style that they're going to be playing.
Yeah. Imagination played a really great Celeste, only going 4-0-8, but that doesn't really matter when that game also had an Anka in it. So I mean, the fact that it's still not dying, and the minor nerfs to Celeste, it doesn't really take her out at the knees like you have like some serious nerfs with other heroes happening.
Yeah, so we are gonna be getting onto the rise for game number 1. Once again, it is a best of 3 single elimination format. So you win, you move on. You lose, you're going home. And the winner of this qualifier will be getting a spot in the finals to potentially get their chance to compete at the WESG World Stage and represent the entirety of Europe, let alone their entire country, for Vainglory. It is a huge honor on the line here in WESG, the only Olympic-style esports format. We are now into game, and the battle for Sovereign's Rise has indeed begun.
So far looking pretty standard. We do have Baron starting off with the 2 of the weapon blades, so it could be looking to go weapon power instead. Also seeing Vox starting off with the usual, what looks to start for weapon power, but just to have a little bit of sustain in lane.
The interesting thing will be this mid lane, because it looks like it is going to be KOTP as the CP Lyra here in the mid lane. So again, taking that captain play style that so many of these guys are comfortable with and adapting it into these carry roles. We've also seen the CP Lyra by other members too. Starting all over in North America has played the CP Lyra in competitive games, so it's not like it's completely off the wall here. It looks like there's going to be a bit of an invade here by the side of Russia. They're going to go ahead and try and steal away this Crystal Treant. France is answering on the other side of the map. We'll see who actually ends up getting away with these.
Take that one. So yeah, they trade pretty well here, but Oswald might go down. Oh. Got stuck. He had already used his jump forward to be able to secure the blue buff for himself, but so had no exit plan.
Yeah, and as a result of that, does mean that it is going to be both of those blue buffs going the way of Team Russia, as now Elohawk and Bastion going to be looking to get a 3 buff start for themselves by taking away this red buff as well. The weapon tree ain't going to be under contest, though, as France doesn't want to give it up freely, but they're going to have to, unfortunately for them. However, Hegman is up on the other side of the map, making sure that they get at least 1 buff out of this early game.
Yeah, very smart. I mean, like, it sucks to lose, effectively 3 buffs for the 1, but making sure that, they're not losing out on what would effectively be a safe red buff for the side of Russia. It's a very smart and heads-up play to do.
Absolutely. So now as things kind of settle down for a little bit here, we'll see where everyone is going to be shipping up. We'll kind of get a better picture of what the builds are going to look like. And it's interesting to me to see Oswald and Hero 1000 kind of grouping up, at least for this early game, because those are both carries. Both of them are going to be wanting to get as much gold as possible, so you usually would end up seeing them in opposite lanes. And with this recall from Hero 1000, I wouldn't have been surprised if they actually ended up sending him up top instead, but they're going to be continuing to use this sort of duo bot lane carry.
Yeah, it is really weird that they're looking to potentially sack the top lane, but and we're also seeing that this Vox is going for a more weapon power based build from the looks of it.
Yeah, so 2 weapon power carries in the bottom lane. Be interesting to see how that works out, but right now there's a skirmish up here near mid. It's going to be Russia going aggressive 4-on-3, looking to steal away this jungle once again. They're going to be able to bully the members of France out of their own jungle, steal away a couple of camps, and then get out of there scot-free. But you see the crystal buffs are just about to come back up. And it looks like Russia wants to go ahead and take advantage of this timing. They've got a couple of members on their buff. They've got 3 members on the France buff. And here we go. We'll see if there's going to be any contest from France. Looks like they're willing to try and compete for it, but not going to be able to get in there in time. So 2 more crystal buffs going the way of Team Russia.
It's very smart by Russia. I mean, this is the problem with having both of your carries in one lane for one thing, but in bot lane where you're so far away from pretty much the other main objectives at this early point, it just makes it so easy for Team Russia to just be able to push the fight. Like, just basically come at us. Where are your carries? You're not going to do damage to us.
Yeah, and you see they're just completely taking over this jungle right now. Russia moving as a 4-man squad through the France jungle, taking away the weapon buff as well. Meanwhile, up top, Hegman is looking to take the tree in, but Bastion is here to contest it. He's going to just be waiting, trying to steal that one away. Oh, he's a little bit too late, though. Not quite prepared for it. So Hegman will get the weapon buff with that Blood for Blood and the Stormguard banner helping to secure that. But because of the fact that Russia is able to just completely control this jungle, they do have a small gold lead, although you'd think that with the amount of control they've had, that this lead should be a lot higher.
Yeah, but it's really starting to then look at kind of the gold that has yet to be spent on X-Dragon. Looking to see what he goes into first on Silvernail here. While Hero 1000 still managing to get like a decent amount of farm here and sitting on 1450. I think the person that's really hasn't had that much has been Oswald. I think he's kind of getting the sugar into the stick, but stacking up those crystal bits, just getting some of that early damage here.
Yeah, the other thing is that the other reason why this gold gap hasn't been blown out of proportion in this early game, despite the map control that Russia has expressed, is the fact that they're moving as a 4-man team, whereas the members of France they're staying pretty separate. So while yes, their jungle is getting stolen away, everyone on France is getting some semblance of CS and some semblance of farm, whereas the members of Russia, like, you really look at it and you've only got a couple of members that are above that 14 CS mark. You have X-Dragon at 14, Elohawk at 25, Imagination at 31, but on France, that's actually just going to be Bastion. I think Bastion has, he looks like he has some connection issues right now, which is very unfortunate for the side of Russia. As France now going to be able to contest over their Crystal Treant. Hegman throwing down the gauntlet as they are now in full fight mode over this Treant. X-Dragon going to be going very low. He still has some good damage to put out, though. Crystal Treant is still up. It will get secured by Russia. Elohawk going to go ahead and eat up a member of France. Millennium Academy will be trying to get out of here alive. Should be able to do so, and Russia take that Crystal Treant and are happy to just walk away. Hegman doesn't quite let them, but he knows he can't go diving in by himself.
Yeah, at least there's a small trade-off here. The bot tower now is effectively going to go down here. We get this, hero creep. Oh no, but it's sliver of health, so they've effectively secured in that bot tower. So I'm really interested to see if now we're going to see Hero 1000 and Oswald look to split up and go farm different lanes, or even take the same strategy with them and go to like the likes of top lane or something.
Yeah, we'll see where they do decide to go. As those two again have been sticking together all game long in this bottom lane. So they are 2 carries. It is a Crystal Power Baron now. So Oswald has switched over to that. And that'll be very interesting to see, because normally with the Crystal Power Baron, you want to be funneling gold onto that. You want to be getting those items online as quickly as you can, but that's not going to be the case here in this game. We'll see if he's going to be able to have the level of impact that you kind of need to if you're going to be going for a build like that. Because Crystal Baron, yes, it has a massive damage potential, but you need to be hitting every single shot if you're not going to be just pumped full of items.
Exactly. It's going to make these team fights a little bit, kind of like a lot more focused for him. But since a majority of them have been happening in the jungle, it should make for a good kind of like choke point for him in these team fights.
Yeah, that's obviously what France is going to be hoping for. Is we going to get another skirmish here in the river, perhaps? No, it looks like they're just happy to back off. Bashin seems to have gotten his connection sorted out once again, so that's good news for the side of Russia. They've definitely been playing a little bit more cautious without him, for obvious reasons. That's a great gauntlet from Hegman, going to lock up multiple. The bada boom is going to send everyone flying, though. Agony looking to try and turn things around, but it will be France getting the kill advantage off of this. However, you look at the side of Russia, they've got Elohawk continuing to just farm up on this Grumpjaw. He's going to be looking to start getting a lot tankier for these fights. And France, while they do have the gold lead now in their favor, just barely, obviously they have to be careful of will they even have enough damage to get through those big tanks on the side of Russia.
I heard the ultimate, but I didn't see it.
I'm not quite sure where the Baron ultimate went. It was used, for sure, but I'm not quite sure where it ended up landing. However, on this bottom side, Elohawk and Oswald, that's actually going to be both of those jungle monsters going to Oswald as he just jumps on
just use it trying to secure that and take it away from the likes of Elohawk.
Yeah, that's the great thing about that ultimate, especially as you continue to build a little bit of cooldown. It starts to get on a very low cooldown. You just sort of fire it at will whenever it's off cooldown, and you can just use it to try and secure jungle camps. You can just use it to get a little bit of extra CS, to reset a lane for minions. There's a lot of different uses for that CP Baron ultimate. But obviously, again, once you get that cooldown is when that really starts to become a thing. As of right now, it's still a minute-long cooldown every time he uses it.
So we see Elohawk going for Pulse Weave on this too, which I thought was a little bit of an interesting choice. He did build this last week in the in both games they played Grumpjaw. So becoming a very, very popular item.
Yeah, Pulse Weave has just become such a huge item for a lot of these tanky bruiser type characters. Bastion, unfortunately, looks like he may be disconnected again, but it's going to be actually Hegman who's in a lot of trouble. He's trying to just survive a long time. There's a big Baron ultimate right onto the top of Russia, but Hegman gets the gauntlet down. No kills just yet, and that's going to be, looks like it's Elohawk wants this kill. He's going to eat up the box, spit him right on out, and pick up that kill. So one kill going to Russia, and Elohawk is not done, finds himself a double kill, and then it's going to be Oswald falling as well. Russia, man down, doesn't matter as they pick up 3 kills for themselves and immediately look to make their way towards Ghostwing.
Yeah, Agony's Tony play is just, it's so impressive to me. He's the one that chased down Oswald, has basically been, the one that's dealing a ton of damage, but also like kind of playing more of that control role in team fights. He saved most of his team with that bada boom and that fight in top lane, and is looking to protect his squishies in this fight that broke out in River. They saved freaking Bashan, who is disconnected. Like, this is so well done.
Yeah, and a lot of that you have to give some credit to France, recognizing that he is disconnected and not going for the kill right there. They could have easily just taken him down, but obviously, you don't even want to really focus on that during a fight. Here comes Elohawk, big damage as he jumps in. There comes the rest of Russia as well. He's going to eat up one target, pulls him back. That's Hero 100, or 1000. He's just going to get blown up. Celestial didn't actually connect, but it didn't matter as they found themselves that kill. And Russia starting to pull ahead a bit. Bashin looks like he may be back low. He's going a little aggressive underneath that turret and is going to pay for that one. So maybe not quite fully back in that instance, but here comes those Baron mortars. Those have to be on point in these team fights if France is going to have any chance in this game.
Yeah, he's already got the Spellfire. He's already close to his next power item for Crystal. But I think really one of the things we got to talk about here is Vox can have a ton of mobility, but in these early stages you are just a glass cannon. And so Elohawk getting that perfect ultimate off onto him to be able to bring him back, even though it was like only short, being able to put him out of position like that was just so important to the start of that team fight.
So Russia starting to build up this lead now. We've talked about the gold. It was very close before, but it is now swelled up to about a 2,500 gold lead. X-Dragon and Agony, they're not going to be able to save this turret, not going to be able to pick off either of those members of France. And this is a way that France can get themselves back into the game. Just kind of rotate around the map, look for opportunities to just get those objectives. They don't really want to be team fighting right now, though, because they are not quite strong enough to be able to do so. With the amount of tankiness Agony has, he's actually going to be going in 1v2, no cares in the world, but that may have been a mistake, as here is France to collapse onto him and take him down. So a very quick answer from France, and this is kind of what that splitting up can do. When you go and just look for objectives, you can get members of the opposing team out of position. You can find opportunities to get those picks, and now KOTP, he wants more.
Yeah, there might have been a little more they can chew here. Somebody else putting out a lot of damage, but
this is going to be a lot of damage onto KOTP getting returned. He's going to get out of there. But Elohawk, he wants to dive back in. The rest of Russia is here. Bashin, what can you do on this Turnwalker? Those chains just spreading damage. They find one kill. Here comes Elohawk back into the fray. Hegman is going to fall. Hero 1000 is the next target, but he's got stacked up. He's nearly gets a couple of kills for himself, but can't quite find him before he goes down. And Oswald wasn't quite able to get anything with the ultimate either. So Russia, again, do come out on top when it comes to a full-on team fight, as they actually end up finding KOTP and taking him down as well.
Yeah, honestly, I like the idea of getting really aggressive. You've just gotten a pick off here on this Tony that's been so so impactful in these team fights. But the fact that they didn't have vision in the surrounding area makes that very risky. I mean, look at Russia. They've got 3 cameras in such like a tight spot. You don't see anything from the side of France. So maybe looking to up their vision game before going for those sort of aggressive Lyra ultimates in. It could actually have been realize like, okay, maybe we shouldn't go for this, or even if Lyra just went and suddenly just like, oh, there's 3 heroes here, let's not take this.
Russia will take that bottom turret despite the Baron ultimate, trying to stop those minions from being able to get the barrier taken down on the turret. In the mid lane, though, neither of these teams has taken this first turret in the mid lane, and it's actually France that is closer to being able to do so. We'll see if there's going to be any skirmish happening here. Is Russia going aggressive with their positioning? They move in towards the French jungle. Bashin isolated a bit, but he's going to be able to get to the safety of his turret. And here comes the rest of Russia from the bottom side, catching France out a bit. Hegman with a great gauntlet to stop that aggression, and France has turned it around. They find the first kill on the Bashin. Elohawk is going to be the next target, but it's Hero 100 getting silenced. Or 1,000, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying 100. It is clearly 1,000. But it's just going to be the one kill going the way of France. But that could have been very bad for them. Russia had a great engagement, but Hegman and KOTP absolutely stunting that aggressive play from Russia with their the ultimate from Hegman, and then the Bright Bulwark coming out from KOTP.
Yeah, every time we see Grumshot go in and just chunk 3 people, it's just always kind of just like this. Ooh, you can almost feel that sort of thing. It's just like playing as a squishy, like as these like squishier captains or like the CP Lyra. It's not something you want to see like coming right at you.
Imagination on the Celeste has actually started to get focused a bit here. A lot of what Oswald is doing has been focusing on trying to hit Imagination, and that's a player that Russia is really going to need to have an impact as we get later in this game, because that Celeste, oh, here comes the Baron ultimate, not quite going to connect. That could have actually set Russia back quite a bit if that had landed, because if that hits Imagination there, all of a sudden they are not able to fight. Because Imagination has to go back to base to heal up. So the fact that he was just able to get out of that ultimate is actually very big for Russia, as France would have loved to have forced him back and then gone ahead and set up a fight around Black Claw. But instead, there's going to be an ultimate getting thrown by Imagination, trying to steal away that Crystal Treant. But it does at least keep France at bay for a moment so that they can take down this turret.
Yeah, now that's freed up the map a bit more for them. They've got, because Baron ult, right into Imagination.
That's a nice ultimate there, but again, can they capitalize on it? They did get a good amount of damage onto Imagination, but right next to the healing Treant, they're just going to go ahead and secure that. Get Imagination topped up once again. EX Dragon up in the top lane, but everyone seems to be postured up, waiting for this Black Claw. Looks like we could be getting a fight here very shortly, actually. It's Elohawk going on to KOTP. Instead, they turn their attention now to Hegman, who gets knocked out of the fight. Big ultimate from Oswald is going to get some good damage. So is the Celeste ultimate going right on through. That's Elohawk eating up a member of France and going to be taking Oswald down. That is not an ideal situation for them, but you see some good stacking here from the side of Hero 1000, and they're going back in aggressively. Elohawk wants to try and stop this, but he's going to get stunned up. That could spell his death. He's going to fall, and France have answered, picking up 2 kills of their own.
That was a really nice bait from the side of KOTP. You know, ultimating in and just kind of immediately backing off, trying to bait out a dash from Elohawk, and it worked out perfectly for them. Trying to get them to, like, you know, at least come back a little bit, letting Hero 1000 get the damage that they needed.
Alright, so France able to, when these fights go very long, they have that little bit of a mobility advantage. They're able to kind of maneuver around the fight a little bit better than what Russia can do. Russia is all about just getting one grouped up team fight and just trying to take someone down. It's, oh my goodness, speaking of taking someone down, KOTP just gets deleted.
Yeah, this Lyra is pretty dang squishy. I mean, it only has the oak heart for, you know, any sort of sustainability, so it's not too surprising when the likes of, like, you know, Tony or Silvernail gets on, you know, is able to go on them.
And it's going to be Ghostwing. It does get captured by the side of Russia, although Agony going extremely low on the backside of that, so I don't know if they're going to be able to look for a fight despite having that Ghostwing buff. I think that the smart call for Russia is to back off, get healed up, and then look for a fight elsewhere on the map. However, if France knows this, they could be looking to go for Black Claw themselves. They're grouping up in the area. They see Russia coming in. And now, will they look for this fight? They have Lyra back up. They could potentially look for this fight, but it doesn't look like KOTP actually wants any part of this. So France just going to be backing away for now. Now, it looks like Black Claw is going to get started up by Russia. France is going to have to get in there very soon if they want to be able to contest this, but instead we're going to see recalls coming out. It is Oswald, so he can still ult it, but that's just going to be Black Claw taken freely by the side of Russia. France did not want any part of that fight.
Yeah, that was a really quick one, too. I really like this Tony build, actually. It got me to look at this, because he was getting chunked pretty hard there. Double Spell Sword Pulse Weave. Very, like, it's, at least for me, that's pretty atypical for a Tony build.
Yeah, definitely a little unconventional, but it's working so well. Right now, Russia split pushing with the Black Claw to say, you know what, you guys want to stop Black Claw? We're just going to shove down this top lane. They've already got one turret in top. Black Claw is now going to take, or should be able to take a second turret, but Team Russia, they are going to take that armory turret in the top lane. Black Claw doesn't quite get that second middle turret. So at least it is going to be stopped there, but 3 turrets taken down for the side of Russia. I really like that push.
Yeah, they absolutely destroy towers. Celeste is such a great hero for just, like, sieging up a tower, and so it's a very heads-up play. It's just like, okay, you know, we think they can just handle this by himself, just not go with it, just to, you know, throw out a little bit of chaos, and so they might, you know, focus you a little bit more than Black Claw, while we go take, you know, 2 turrets top. I always love seeing that from teams that are, you know, understand, you know, exactly how much Black Claw can do by himself, and look to, you know, take more advantages off the map.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they also sent Bastion to Black Claw just to be that, serve as that little bit of an extra distraction to try and keep France in place a little bit longer, to just delay them from being able to go answer that top lane push. So again, Russia playing this exceptionally well at the moment in terms of just controlling the map and not really allowing too many opportunities to France. There have been some opportunities for France to get back into this one, but Russia is doing a good job at minimizing those. We're going to be getting a bit of a skirmish here in the river. Bastion looking to go aggressive. That's a big gauntlet from Hegman. Will get a couple of stuns. Bastion just going to fall a little bit too aggressive on his positioning. Celeste ultimate is going to get mostly absorbed by Hegman and the barriers that he provides. So France going to be happy to just take that 1 kill. 30 seconds that they have a 5-on-4 if they want to look for something. But Agony, he's going aggressive with the bada boom, going to split Hegman away from the team. That's all he has to do. Is if he knocks Hegman away, that's so much of the protection that Team France has taken off the table. As the Lorelei is going to get eaten on up and will get taken down. Russia just hunting for kills at this point in the France jungle.
Yeah, Lorelei just doesn't have any escapes in her toolkit. She's got the shield, but getting put out of position by that bada boom was so important there.
And again, like the bada boom agony. Normally, you want to focus on like the carries, split the carries up so you can isolate them. In this instance, he really just wants to focus on making sure that he hits the Arden. If he splits the Arden away from the team, that is so much of the protection that they're relying on because it's a CP Lyra. And then you have the Baron and the Vox as carries as well. You split away the Arden, and that's so much of their defense. That's going to be a nice stuffed over the wall from Elohawk as they immediately just take down Oswald right after getting the Ghost Wing. You see, it is Agony a bit low off the back end of this. He's the one tanking up these dragons for the most part. And this Pulse Weave is great for tanking up members of the opposing team. Not so good at tanking up the dragons. So he goes low pretty much every time they try and capture one of these dragons. But obviously, if you get the dragon, get a kill and get out, that's going to be considered a win.
Yeah, and so we see Millennium Academy kind of taking him a bit here. Finishes the Fountain Renewal after the last engagement. Looking to kind of fill in that second tank role. I mean, last week we had kind of Cassius and Millennium Academy more looking to fill that, like, to suit that role a bit more. So it's interesting to see kind of like how they're adapting here now with this different lineup.
Look at what Russia's doing. They start up the Black Claw using 3 members to position themselves in mid lane just to make it not as obvious that it's happening. But now France fully knows what's going on. Vox Silence going to go on through, but he's in the front lines. Got to be very careful. Black Claw is going to get stolen by Vox. Hero 1000 takes it, but now can they get out of here is the question. Vox just still kiting backwards, stacking up that breaking point, getting a lot of damage, but he does get stuffed and will get taken down over. Black Claw is now pushing, and France has an opportunity to find some kills. Elohawk in trouble. He's going to be the target. Hegman trying to take him down. Can't quite find the damage. Instead, they turn onto Celeste. They will get Celeste down. Oh, no, Celeste takes the portals. Does end up falling in the end to the basic attack. Yeah, you can't juke out a basic attack. And that's going to be multiple kills for the side of France and that big, all-important Black Claw steal. Now France has a chance to push in deep. Looks like Elohawk doesn't want to let them quite go into the base just yet. Hegman still going aggressive, is going to take a lot of damage, but has a lot of barrier. Oswald, the target, will get stuffed up and should be falling here on the backlines of Russia, deposited right next to X-Dragon for the kill. So France getting themselves back into the game in a big way, though.
Yeah, honestly, the main issue like with that defense is that X-Dragon was just sitting on the top portion of the lane, just freely auto-attacking, building up those breaking point stacks, and he's the one that really just dealt all that damage while the Elohawk was just diving in.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a need to focus on like the squishier targets, like exactly how they treated the Celeste in the last team fight. They need to focus on Celeste, they need to focus on X-Dragon to be able to actually win these team fights.
Yeah, these fights are at this point, now that we're late enough in the game, it's pretty much going to be all about X-Dragon and Hero 1000. These two getting stacked up with those breaking points. If either of them goes down early in a fight, the team fight is lost for that team. They need to just immediately back off and just cut their losses and try and recuperate. But Russia, they're still the teams that are making the more aggressive calls. They're looking for these objectives. They're looking to take the dragons. You see Ghostwing getting started up. Agony going to be camping on the other side of the dragon pit, just waiting for someone to try and intercept. Obviously, I would assume he's just holding onto that bada boom, saying, you know what, if someone shows up, I'm just going to knock them away to guarantee that we get this dragon.
Yeah. It's such a great utility thing, utility ultimate, instead of looking to use it more in actual damage, but looking to kind of just disrupt a fight in a way that's going to make it so much easier for the side of Russia to take.
Yeah, so right now with this matchup, it's very, very close. Even though the gold has definitely grown in favor of Russia, this is a game that could absolutely go either way. We're at a stage where everyone's at or close to full build, that the gold isn't quite as important anymore. And, with all it takes is one fight. I mean, Russia, they lost that fight at the Black Claw. They had Black Claw stolen from them, and all of a sudden France was able to shove down mid lane. If that happens again, when Black Claw is up, then this next Black Claw could very well determine the game.
Oh, yeah. it'll be interesting to see, if Russia ends up taking it, if they look to, go split push again, because they could just go through, take the armory in top lane, and just try to end the game from there. While Black Claws, acting as kind of a, safety net.
All right, so Russia, they're gonna be recalling back to base. Black Claw is gonna be up momentarily. We'll wait until we see that circle appear on the Black Claw camp. But when Black Claw is up, we gotta figure both teams are just gonna be positioning themselves around that half of the map and just be ready to go for a fight. There's gonna be no Ghost Wing buff for it, as that has now timed out. But here we go, looking for a fight. They immediately catch Oswald out and delete him. This is disastrous for France.
And down for a full minute. It's going to be interesting to see if they have the ability to hold like Russia did. At least they don't have to worry about Black Claw yet.
Yeah, well, Black Claw has just spawned. Russia taking down that turret, just one less obstacle for this Black Claw, as they are going to go ahead and start this one up. 4v5 though. France, I don't think they can contest this. They are just looking for other sources of gold, looking to prepare themselves as best they can for this push that Russia is about to bring on them. And you called it right here, Russia. They take Black Claw and immediately rotate the team to the top lane, saying you have to choose what you're going to do, Team France.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's having Oswald down still for 10 seconds here. They're gonna have to keep Hero 1000 there to deal enough damage to Black Claw to stop him from taking a lane.
Oh, they don't even need the minions. As soon as the team is engaged with Black Claw, they go in, destroy the armory, and they are on to the Vein Crystal. France gonna try and stop this. They have to get a lot of damage down very quickly. They're looking for the Celeste, but it's EX Dragon also damaging the Crystal, and it's going to be Team Russia taking down the Vein Crystal, using the Black Claw as a bait, and they pick up the victory in game number 1. And what a game it was, High Jump.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely loving this. I really like EX Dragon's build here. Going for Breaking Point and Bone Saw as his 2 main damage items, I love it. So his positioning in those fights was just absolutely astounding, and it was great overall team calls. From the early aggression that we saw at the start of the game to that last play that just easily won them that engagement.
Yeah, the shot calling and decision making from Russia was absolutely on point, getting them this first game victory. We are going to be getting ourselves set up for game number 2 here in just a moment, as we're going to get the team swapped. We want to minimize the downtime, get everyone ready to go as quickly as we can. So just sit tight for a moment, and we'll be getting them on in.
Honestly, that was I think that was the longest game that we've seen from any team. At least from the games that I was looking at that have been played, almost half an hour. So very well done by both sides there. It's really nice to see how well these teams do.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get these players swapped on up.
AFK for 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. That's honestly something.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get these players back on in as soon as we can. And let's get, there we go. Just gotta do some little housekeeping work on the back end here, and make sure we have everything all set to go. Waiting for one of our Russian casters. As for those of you who are unaware, there is a Russian broadcast right now coinciding with the English broadcast as well. So if you are a native Russian speaker, you want to check out the Russian stream, make sure you check that out. I don't have the exact link name, but if you're watching, you should be able to find it pretty easily. And the MGL
Russia.
Okay, MGL_Russia. High Jump, able to check that stuff out on the back end for me. And so, yeah, check out our Russian casters over there. Big Silver King and Cosplay calling the action over on the Russian stream. But we should be just about ready to go to get things in for game number 2. But High Jump, what do you want? What are you expecting here for game number 2? Any adaptations from either of these teams?
So I think it's going to be more of looking to see how they handle. On the side of France, I think I liked the idea of running Oswald and Hero 1000 together. I think it'd been much better to split them up earlier on. If they were able to take that first tower, in first couple minion waves, it would have made it much more worthwhile. I think that they were splitting farm too much and were way too out of position for all the other objectives that were going on in that early game. Everything's always about like the early triads, and it just, I think it kind of crippled them a little bit. If Baron was able to be come online a little bit earlier, could have won a few more team fights, buying Hero 1000 the time he needed to be able to get those items. But I think overall, I think their 3 captain strat effectively can still work. I mean, we saw them take Russia, longer than any other team has so far. So if they work on their shot calling a bit better here, I think they have what it takes to be able to topple Russia in this game too.
All right, well, we'll see if that is the case. Let's see, is everyone ready? Looks like everyone is ready. So we are going to be jumping on in to draft for game number 2. And once again, Russia versus France. Russia now has the 1-0 lead in this series. We'll see if they can hold on to that and grab themselves a victory as we get on into the draft for game 2. Bastion will be the one banning for the side of Russia. We'll see what they decide to take off the board. Will they change their ban strategy at all based on that last game? They're actually going to be the ones banning away Trinwalker this time. They played it last game, but obviously not wanting to first pick it here.
Yeah, they banned Petal. Like you see Agony hovering over Petal. They had banned Petal in their first game of the last round, and I wasn't really sure why they'd be fearing Petal. It could just be just not wanting to play against it for a little bit more like skill shot heroes. The plant's getting in the way. I like this ban though, like banning away Arden. Hegman did a great job even with those gauntlets, really disrupting the fights there.
Yeah, absolutely did a phenomenal work with the gauntlets, and obviously it was such a key part to those team fights, but again was also a target for the side of Russia. They were able to say, okay, we take Hegman out of the fight by with the bada boom or with stunning him up, and all of a sudden he is not going to be as impactful. Anka is on the pool, but so is Reza, and Reza will get grabbed immediately from the side of Russia, wanting to make sure they get one of those assassin type heroes. So Anka would be interesting to see if she comes out, because obviously you've already got the one assassin there on the side of Russia. You could answer assassin for assassin if you're France, and that is exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they had plenty of time with the 2 and 3 picks here to kind of figure out exactly what they want. Saw them hovering over the fortress, but I'm not sure like how much of a pick it'd be really worthwhile here. Going back to the Lorelei again, interesting to see.
The Lorelei I think is so important to have when you do have an assassin, because you need to be able to save them if they go in a little bit too deep, if they get caught out. If the Anka dives in deep and gets stunned, all of a sudden that water wall unstuns her, lets her go back to just being a killing machine in those backlines. So I actually really like the Lorelei pick here. Malene going to be grabbed by the side of Russia. So that's a lot of crystal power damage they've already got with just their first 2 picks.
Yeah, now they can just look to build around these 2 cores. It's not really necessarily something that you're giving away early. You're not saving your carry picks for the last for the last 2 or so. So at least now it's like, it'll be interesting to see if France is able to come up with an idea of how to counter these 2. Malene is such a powerhouse in the mid lane and has a decent amount of sustain, building that aftershock very early on. So it'll be. I mean, currently it's sitting on Bashan, and I think Agony's gonna be taking this Reza mid. So I'm wondering where they're gonna end up putting Malene.
Yeah, it's definitely will be interesting to see. Obviously, likely to end up swapping that around once they have a couple more picks in. But with that Grump draw, once again, likely to be in the hands of Eloak. I wouldn't expect to see them changing that one up too much. But Sky and Grace for the side of France, as actually we're going to get booted on out here temporarily. We'll figure out what the issue was and get ourselves back on in.
Yeah, last week we saw Cassius was the one on the side of France playing the Grace. Ended up going 1-1-10, so could be looking to kind of fill a similar role here. Of we talked about Lorelei looking to save people with the shield. Could be looking to use that with the Grace ultimate as well. Effectively letting Anka just go freely dive in with knowing that she has the backup of Grace also diving in with her, trying to stun up everyone at the same time. Could make for pretty disruptive team fights.
Yeah, it was just a mistake there on one of the players, so we're just going to be getting back into the draft. Same picks and bans up until that point of the draft, and then they can obviously just finish the draft out as normal. So we do see, obviously, again, the Reza, the Anka, the Malin, and Grumpjaw for Russia, the Lorelei, Grace, and Sky for France. So now it is back on to Russia for their last two choices for this game. They need a little bit more tankiness, I feel. Obviously, Grumpjaw can get pretty tanky, but I feel like you need something there, but you also need that weapon power. And Gwen, I think, would be a fantastic pick here. Gwen and Silvernail, they're going to go back to the Silvernail. I feel like Gwen is one of the kind of most underrated carries right now. She's incredibly strong on update 3.6 and 3.7. We are, of course, playing on 3.7, but Gwen has been phenomenal. Every time that she gets picked, I feel like she just does incredibly well, but she hasn't been getting picked that often.
Actually, X-Dragon picked her game 1 of last week, and went like a pretty standard build, Sorrow Blade, Breaking Point, and then had one Tyrant's Monocle on his way to his second. And with the same positioning that we saw from game 1, it's not surprising that he'd go for such a for such a glass cannon build with Gwen. And I think you're right. I think it's a hero that we should be expecting to see more of. But, here we've got last pick Tony. I like it.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting composition for both teams. There's not a lot of tankiness on the side of Russia this time around. You've got Grumpjaw, who's going to be fairly tanky. Obviously, Lyra likely to build as a full captain. But then you have Reza, Malin, and Silvernail. 3 very squishy heroes, but 3 very high damage output heroes. And over on the side of France, obviously you've got the Anka, who's going to be looking to assassinate targets, but then a lot of protection for her. If the Sky, assuming the Sky goes weapon power, it's going to be a lot of slows being provided. The obviously protection and movement speed from the Lorelei. You have Tony for protection and peel. You have Grace for that as well. So a lot of this seems to be built around KOTP on the side of France this time.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting if he's able to basically perform here. It'll be really interesting to see. I don't think we did not see him on the knockout. He was banned out both games last week. So, but his mid-play has been pretty spot on this entire time. So I'm sure he's got an Anka in his back pocket.
I think everyone who is a professional player likely has an Anka in their back pocket because she was such a dominant hero when she first came out. Everyone was talking about how overpowered she was, and then players finally started to figure out how to play against her a bit. She sort of fell off a little in terms of she wasn't getting picked all the time. There were drafts where she would be let through and didn't get picked or banned at all. So, but there's also the fact that you look at someone like Hundor on Team Germany, who in the VPL set the VPL kill record with 22 on an Anka in a single game. So there's definitely some strength there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hero it's a ton of fun to play too, honestly. So it always makes it so much better. But not seeing that same level of aggression from Russia. I mean, they're looking to take the Crystal Treant, but I don't know. It's not as early on. It's more timed around right when they spawn instead of rushing in early. Yeah,
this is going to be interesting to see. Imagination and Agony looking to secure one Crystal Treant. Meanwhile, over on the other side, it's going to be KOTP and Millennium Falcon looking to see if they can take away the Russian Treant. But now with the rest of France seeming to show up all at once, they are going to be able to steal that one away. So 1 for 1 on the crystal buffs this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't the fact that they're posturing here with a Lorelei. They don't have the same damage output.
KOTP nearly got caught by that immobilize, and if that had connected, that would have been an easy first blood for the side of Russia. So narrowly avoiding that one.
Yeah, it's nice that KOTP is also the one that ended up with that crystal buff. Staying alive here, gonna go back, heal up, get first items, and look to come back and lane a little bit stronger.
Now we'll see how it's gonna pan out. You did see the one weapon buff go over to the side of Russia. The second weapon buff has actually yet to be taken, so no aggressive invade on the France weapon buff, or sorry, on the Russian weapon buff, as it's France that got the first weapon buff. Oswald taking that one. Agony dove a little too far, didn't quite get to the weapon buff, but will secure it there in the end. So both teams getting 2 buffs to start a lot more even in terms of our first couple minutes of gameplay. Elohawk just going to be farming away on this Grumpjaw. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on Elohawk quite a bit this game, just because of the level of impact that he was able to have in game number 1 with this Grumpjaw, constantly diving in, doing a ton of burst, grabbing a target, and then just ducking out of the fights every time. He played it so exceptionally well throughout game 1. I really want to see what he's going to do in game 2 and how Team France is going to adapt to that.
Yeah, and it was always a very impactful target, too. It wasn't just like, oh, I guess I'm going to go after, just grab a support or grab a tank just to get them out of the fight. It was always grabbing, Oswald or Hero 1000. I think even Hegman toward, when he was already low to basically secure a kill. So it's really nice to see, like, a well-targeting Grumpjaw.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, looks like France going to try and collapse onto a few members of Russia as the Treant respawns. They say, you are not taking our Treant this time around. This will go over to the side of France. It's Oswald that grabs it, though, so not necessarily the ideal target, but they are just going to be rotating on over and looking to take down the Russian Crystal Treant as well. Elohawk on the front lines, but isn't really going to want to commit. Maybe with the rest of Russia joining here, they could chase something down, but they just let the buff go. That one does go to KOTP, which is where they want these buffs to be getting put as the game goes later and later, because obviously buffs have a percent scaling, so the later you get in the game, the more impactful they are.
Yeah, I really like that aspect for these buffs. Talking about the buff going over to Tony there, it's not the best, but as long as it's not going to the side of Russia, you're happy with it all the same. Yeah. I like the shot call though. It's like, okay, cool, we got ours, let's go take theirs.
Yeah, knowing the timings of being able to grab both of those buffs can be so crucial as you get further into the game. If you can consistently steal away both of those buffs, you will just be naturally getting yourself an advantage when it comes time for fighting.
Yeah, it's just a matter of also being able to make use of those buffs in the game. I mean, if you're constantly fed these crystal buffs, but you're not able to kind of impact the mid lane at all. I mean, Imagination's playing a great Malign here, keeping KOTP a little bit out and staying a bit safer. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see there. But we don't have a first blood yet, and it's already 5 minutes in. It's kind of surprising to see after that last game.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of early aggression, but another thing that's interesting to me is Hero 1000 and Oswald once again just sticking as a duo, despite the fact that Oswald, he did just pick up a few defensive items. But previously, he just had the heavy steel, so he was building as a carry, despite the fact that he was just constantly moving with Hero 1000 and just soaking up the ambient gold. So this adaptation is really interesting to me from the side of France of saying, we're going to have this second pseudo carry, but they're going to be playing they're going to play like a captain, but build like a little bit more like a carry. So it's interesting to see if it's going to work out here in game number 2.
Yeah, I think this could be a little bit better. I think they were kind of more splitting farm in that first game. Hero 1000, though, still super squishy.
Yeah, obviously on a Sky early on, you're not going to be able to take too much damage. That's another Crystal Treant going the way of France, though. Hero 1000 picks it up this time around, and they know the timing of that second Treant. Agony is going to take a lot of damage there, as he will get out of harm's way. But now Russia, they have the path on this Crystal Treant, and will be able to secure that one, make sure that France doesn't get in for another steal.
Yeah, managing to take down the one camera, but they double cam the same bush here. They're going to be able to clean up the vision here pretty easily, trading camera for camera.
And so with that, now France going to be playing a little bit cautiously. It looks like around this top side of the map. They want to make sure they get this weapon treant, but they have all 5 members up here looking for this. Nobody is in the bot lane at all. And the 2 members of Team Russia are going to go down there and have a little bit of free farm, get some extra gold. Agony and X-Dragon going to be absorbing all of that. And they could potentially even look to push onto this turret a bit, as members from France going to be slowly rotating down, but they're going to be very slow on this rotation. You see X-Dragon more than happy to just start peppering that turret with damage, while Agony steals away the healing Treant. And this should be turret number 1 going the way of Team Russia.
Yeah, X-Dragon, it surprised me. I feel like he's somehow managing to squeeze out as much damage early on. Doesn't have the mask to start things off, getting a bunch of sustain, but still quite a squishy target. I'm just really excited that we're seeing like high level Silvernail play.
For sure is. Now Russia just going to be looking to steal away a little bit of gold from the enemy jungle. Well, up on the top side of the map, Eelhawk, he's been doing a pretty good job. He's been 1v2 pretty much all game long and has kept his turret up, at least for now. A lot of damage has been done to it, but that's to be expected when you're in a 1v2 situation. I'm curious to see if Russia's going to be sending any other members up there to try and help him defend, but he's doing pretty well on his own. Keeps that turret about maybe a third health or so. Now with the rotations coming through, it looks like we could be getting a skirmish. That's going to be members of Russia getting found in this brush, but no one's going to take really enough damage to go down. Imagination will get jumped on by Grace as this Crystal Train is back up, but everyone's going in deep. That's going to be the Maline dropping very low. KOTP nearly getting that kill, but not quite having the damage for it.
Right, and I really like the amount, like the aggression from Pegman here. You're not being afraid to dive in. This is the tankiest, but you're still doing a bunch of damage.
France was just holding that crystal buff for so long for KOTP to come around and grab it, and it ended up going over to Hero 1000 in the end. So not quite what they were looking for there, but now with Ghostwing being worked on by the side of Russia, maybe a steal opportunity for, or worked on by France, steal opportunity for Russia. They jump on in, they get the steal. Eelhawk takes it away, and now the team fight will ensue. A lot of damage was done to France by the Ghostwing. We're looking for this Tony perhaps as the first target. He's going to be KOTP actually dropping first. Tony's still alive, but they pick up a second kill onto Lorelei. A Ghostwing and 2 kills going the way of Russia.
Yeah, X-Dragon as well as Imagination are just sitting there in the back line, just getting their auto attacks off, throwing out their skills as need be. There was no pressure for them. I think really the big mistake there was not looking to counter the vision that was in the pit. I don't think we saw a single camera dropped in the pit. I mean, it could have just been that they were on cooldown, but still, it's interesting to me that they weren't like expecting, Russia to be contesting that.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you clear out the vision in the Dragon's Lair before you go for that take. Otherwise, you see what just happened. And a great ultimate from Bastion, timing that almost perfectly in order to get his team in there just in time for the steal, which allows them to then find the team fight immediately afterwards as well. So Russia, just their team play, their coordination has been really on point.
Yeah, no, they're making a lot of really strong calls of just like, yeah, no, we can take this fight. We can, be able to steal this Ghostwing away. I like it a lot. But honestly, I think one of the things that we can talk about here is we haven't really seen Anka really get to do a whole lot. It's like normally in these games you're looking to have her snowball early, but France hasn't been looking to take like these, looking to force these early fights. They're looking for kickoffs really.
The only thing that Anka's really been able to do this game is CS. She has the most farm in the game, but that's not really going to amount to much of anything if you're not able to convert that into kills in these team fights. But so much of it is going to rely on KOTP finding the opportunities to get in. You have to make your own plays as Anka. You can't necessarily rely on everything getting set up. Obviously, with a Tony, you feel like there's going to be more opportunities because Tony can use that bada boom, split up the enemy team, and allow you to then isolate a target. And that's where this Anka should excel.
Yeah.
Bastion going on in deep into the enemy team. KOTP on the backlines now, though, with that teleport, but doesn't quite find the kill. There's going to be so many low health members, but they can't find any of them. Finally, they get onto the backlines, but not before Silvernail gets a double kill. EX Dragon just mowing down members of France. And that's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Russia when all is said and done.
Wow. Just like... It's really nuts to see like how much damage that they're able to, they're putting out like a lot of damage and they're still dumping all the saves from the side of France onto their squishier, heroes like Hero 1000, KFP, but it's just still not resulting in any deaths. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on. More pulse sweeps coming out. I'm sure we'll see Slumbering Husks on the side of a couple of these heroes just to be able to deal with any potential Anka burst. Because she still will hit that point where she is just able to chunk pretty much anyone she sets her sight on. It's just a matter of like how much control is going to be going into these team fights. And Russia has just been answering any attempt at aggression here in just like perfect fashion.
Yeah, they grab themselves another Ghostwing. Black Claw is on the map as well. They could potentially use that Ghostwing buff to look for that Black Claw capture, or at least force a fight, but they'll get in here. There's no vision from either team inside this Black Claw pit, but if you're Team France, you have to assume that they're going to be going for it. There's a flare thrown on in, so now they know that's being captured, but they also know that they do not have enough time to get there and look for a steal. Agony going over the wall, looking for kills while this team is securing Black Claw. Black Claw does get unleashed by Russia, and they have just been in absolute control of this game, really, for quite, like, the last 5 to 6 minutes or so has been just all Russia.
Yeah, they're kind of realizing how far ahead they are. I mean, it's only 6k gold lead, but in regards to like kills and tempo, I think they're really just understanding that, like, okay, we've got the momentum here. We can just force fights, and they've been playing just so exceptionally well. I think they're noticing like the weak points in France's lineup.
Absolutely. Black Claw gets onto that armory turret. Bada Boom's going to split up at one member. It's Moline that actually got sent flying, but Russia doesn't seem to really mind that much. They take down the turret. Are they going to look for a fight in the base, though? Agony going really low, but they're diving on in, looking for this. This could be a mistake from Russia. That's going to be Anka finally getting a kill on the board. How much more can they find as a result of this, though? KOTP looking to hunt down, but it's a nice split from Agony, or from Elohawk to split away, and that's going to leave KOTP out to dry. And Elohawk absolutely juking out that the Anka there, and just really helping his team set up a kill. Agony and Imagination, though, a little low to be trying to go back in, but they do take down that armory turret and have themselves set up nicely as we go deeper into this game.
Yeah, that was a really heads up, realizing that excuse me, that KOTP had used the dagger, didn't have any sort of mobility really left to just like, hey, we can kill her. She's super squishy.
Yeah.
And just turning around and grabbing that kill, like as Elohawk, juked his way out to the top.
And what an important juke that was for Elohawk to be able to... If Elohawk doesn't get out of there, it ends up being likely another kill for KOTP. But because, like you mentioned, the mobility was already used, she didn't have a way to get out of that situation once the juke happened, once she missed that ability. So all of a sudden, it ends up just being turned around by Russia. So what looked like it could have been a window of opportunity for the side of France does end up getting shut by Russia. And now they just get to be in control once again. Ghostwing's going to be up here shortly. And looks like they're already just getting themselves set up, setting up a party brush here. It's going to get flared out, so France will know what happens, but it doesn't matter when you get rooted and blown up. The Wonder Walls and such will come out, but now those aren't available for the carries. Hero 1000 just gets taken out, and this is now going to allow Russia to go ahead and grab the Ghostwing for free.
I like this a lot. I mean, I think they could have actually potentially forced the fight, could have charged down mid, take the armory. But backing up here, taking Ghostwing, they do have another 13 seconds here without Hero 1000 on the map. I mean, they can just look to just go force other objectives. They got lanes pushing in both top and bottom as well, so they could look to go for it.
Little Hawk jumping on in, going to grab Hegman, try and take him back to the rest of the team. They will end up taking down. Nice stun by Hegman. They'll actually keep him alive a little bit longer. The root over the wall as there's the Moline joining the fray. They do get the kill. That will be KOTP. Able to find one in response, though, as he didn't quite go down. Everyone was so focused on Hegman that KOTP was able to survive. So a little bit of a misstep there from Russia.
Yeah, throwing out that ultimate. I do like the aggression coming out from Agony on his Reza. He absolutely just obliterated Anka's health there, but that ultimate, as it's coming back to Anka herself, does so much damage. He just got stunned up under the tower and nowhere to go.
Alright, so Russia, knowing that they had a big opportunity there and maybe squandered it with a little bit too much aggression. I think the focus was on Hegman a little bit too much. They nearly took him out, but then that big Holy Nova just absolutely taking out or stunning up everyone, really, delaying it long enough for the rest of the team to get there and buying that little bit of extra time that was needed in order for Hegman to get out alive. If that doesn't connect or if that gets blocked, all of a sudden that's Hegman down. KOTP would likely end up falling as well, and this could be a very different situation.
Yeah, it really was. I'm hoping to kind of see KOTP pick up at least like a defensive item here, maybe like a reflex block, or maybe you go down the rows for an Aegis. I know you want to build a ton of damage, but I feel like you're kind of at this awkward point of like where we're like losing one team fight means multiple objectives taken, that like it might be worth a little bit more survivability.
It could be getting a fight here. It's a lot of abilities used. There's a big bada boom though. That's just gonna dissuade any further aggression for now. And so it looks like
they're not early. Like it stops that team fight from happening, but it's not going to stop Russia from wanting to engage here further.
Yeah, here we go. That's going to be Elohawk diving on in. Hegman taken down very low. That seems to be their priority target, but there's a lot of damage they need to take down in KOTP. But KOTP now isolated, will be able to get out alive for now, but will it last? It's a lot of damage that was done. Everyone is going very low. KOTP trying to get chased down. As Russia looking for those kills, but KOTP looking to make a play, does juke out, but meanwhile Hero 1000 has started to go off, has lots of stacks, but does fall, and when the dust settles, it's a 2 for 2. That was all over the place fighting, but it ends up being a very even trade.
Yeah, that was really well done. KOTP throwing out one last dagger, kind of missed, and I think potentially was a mistap, but was doing such a great job kiting back and forth, using her jump, going through the Lyra ultimate to even just like make some space. The fact that they were wasting the time of Agony and Elohawk meant that the rest of Team France.
This is dangerous. France knows that this capture is happening, and they are going to get in position at full health, whereas Imagination is the only one full health. That's a very low Reza. Reza's going to get bada boomed way out of the pit as he tries to get back in. Millennium Academy just keeps him from getting over the wall. Black Claw is very low, but now here comes the rest of Russia, the rest of France coming in as well. It will go over to Russia as somehow Agony gets back in the pit to secure it, but now can they get out of here? That's going to be Elohawk going down. X-Dragon will get slowed up, will get stunned up, and will be falling here. He's trying to do as much damage as he can, but it's not going to be enough. So Black Claw got captured, is making its way towards the France base, but France finds themselves 2 kills in the process. Agony trying to delay these recalls, trying to just keep members of France here. And he's doing a good job of that. There is one member of France that got back. KOTP did get back to defend, but now how many people are going to lose their lives for this one? Oswald and the rest of France just looking to get out of here now, as they should be able to do so, but Agony still wants to keep them here, wants to prevent them from getting back to their base.
He even steals the healing trinket. Oh, I got it.
Look at the base. It is going to be that armory going down. Black Claw is almost defeated, though, as KOTP has been able to do a great job working on that one, but armory down in favor of Russia.
Yeah, that was really well done. I love seeing like those heads-up plays of just like, okay, if they get back, it's going to be... If they get back, they're going to lose effectively Black Claw. We're not able to capitalize on it right now. So, like, forcing them to continuously have to run. I'm honestly surprised that after a point, France just didn't turn around and just be like, you know what? Let's kill them.
Yeah, it really seems like that may have been the best option, but they were worried about the rest of Russia that were respawning. X-Dragon was back. They had Bash in there as well, so it could have been a difficult decision to try and turn on. It could have just been a bait. But speaking of, it's going to be a Ghost Wing getting captured by Russia. No contest from France there. They weren't able to get out of their base quickly enough to even take a look at the Ghost Wing. And it looks like Russia, they want to find a fight. They want to end this. Portal gone forward. It's going to keep Hero 1000 locked in place for a while. He does get out with those barriers, though. A lot of barriers to be provided thanks to that Lorelei. Able to keep the sky alive. But now Russia... They have pretty much complete control of this map. They can choose where they want to go. It looks like where they want to go is this bottom lane. They have one lone minion to strip away this barrier if they want to try and take it, but France is there to defend.
Yeah, I can see them looking to force a fight here within the next 30 seconds, knowing that that Lorelei ultimate is down. There's no save for KOTP should he dive in, other than the Grace ultimate, but... It'll be interesting to see here. I think they realize it's potential for go time. It's like we can go take an objective right now.
Yeah, they mostly looked like they wanted to focus on that turret. They got it about halfway down. Agony gonna get stunned up, but not really a concern as they now will back away. So things settling down a bit for the time being, but I don't expect that to remain the case. As looks like Russia, they're setting up a party brush. Will anyone be invited? Is the question.
I love that. Oh, here comes Oswald.
Not quite going to walk into it.
Sixth Sense.
Oh, they see KOTP on their own, but they want to actually just go in. They're looking to end it. They saw everyone get out, and they are looking to end the game. Meanwhile, it's one member just distracting everyone. Elohawk preventing the recalls for Russia to dive in and look to finish this one down. The Vein Crystal is going low. Do they have the damage, though? X-Dragon gets knocked away, gets stunned up, but it doesn't matter. The Vein Crystal will go down, and Russia, with the distraction play, pick up the victory. What a call.
Yeah, I gotta feel like you gotta be feeling pretty salty right now on the side of France. 2 games in a row, they're sitting in a bush and just like, now. Like, let's end it now.
And what about Elohawk? Elohawk going on that mission 1v4, just delaying recalls for his team to be able to portal over the wall and finish that game off. Again, just the decision-making and the team play from Russia is just so much fun to watch right now.
Yeah, it's so, like, next level. Like, you think about this, like, 3-dimensional chess sort of thing of just like, okay, as long as we have you making space, the rest of us can go in the game. Again, X-Dragon, he's gotten to that point, like getting that breaking point online, along with that Serpent Mask. He was able to just pump out a ton of damage, and as long as they keep him alive, he's able to shred towers.
Absolutely great stuff coming out of Russia. They're going to pick up the victory in our first best of 3. But bear in mind, we have a second matchup coming to you all later on. It's going to be Turkey versus the Netherlands. That will be coming up momentarily. We're going to go ahead and take a brief break as we get set up for that one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, Monster Cat, it's Adam from Toronto.
Hey, what's up? My name's Luce.
Hello guys, I am George from the Netherlands.
Phase 1 complete. Bring in the artists.
Hey guys, this is Bertha.
This is Laura Brem.
Yo, what's up, Monster Cat? This is Dirty Audio.
Family assembled. We have liftoff.
That's a bad kitty.
Welcome to the Monster Cat Podcast. A place where strangers become friends and friends become family. Taking you on a journey.
Can't feel the love. Oh, baby. There's no other you. If I ain't got you, I'm nothing. 'Cause there's no deeper love than what we're feeling. There's no deeper love. Oh, baby. There's no deeper love than what we're feeling. There's no deeper love. I can't be without you. I'm in way too deep and I'm drowning in devotion. I'm lost, can't find a new emotion that's ever enough. And you can't deny it's real, 'cause there's no deeper oh, baby, yeah. 'Cause there's no deeper love than what we're feeling. There's no deeper love. To start, I don't know where to go. I'm told I'll reap all of what I sow.
Welcome on back to the WESG European Qualifiers, powered by Razer and the Razer phone. I'm Tasty Bacon. Joining me is High Jump. High Jump, how are you doing after our first set of games?
Dude, I'm so excited. I'm really happy to see, like quality games. The fact that France is able to push Russia to such an end game. I'm really happy to see, and to see such amazing shots called by the side of Russia in that last set. I'm super excited.
Yeah, this next matchup should be great as well. We're going to be getting into the Netherlands taking on Turkey. We'll take a look at these rosters as we get ready for this game, as we are going to have, for the Netherlands, their full lineup is Hell's Devil, Ghost 83, Joey Skaggs, Quantum Mice, Flourish Shoe, Gaming for NL, in case you were wondering who he's playing for. It's got it right in the name. Herdam and Albert FTW. Playing today is going to be actually those first five on the... Actually, no, not quite the first five. Quantum Ice is not in their lineup today. It's going to be Hell's Devil, Ghost 83, Gaming for NL, Flourish Shoe, and Joey Skaggs as the starting lineup for the Netherlands.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so I mean, this is the same... actually, no, it's not the same. They had last week. They had Aber for the win, filling in, or taking the role of Lorelei for them last week, instead of Gaming for NL. So it'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how that's going to shake things up at all. Well, on the other side for Team Turkey, Their full lineup is going to be Fusion Fall, Aver1, I'm Dead, Nomad Vagabond, Yusuf Islam, Sedkan, Devo, and Fahrenheit. And for today, they're going to be running with Nomad Vagabond, I'm Dead, Aver1, Devo, and Sedkan. So that's going to be their lineup for today. Any differences in their Week 1 matchup here, I jump.
So that's the thing, is like, since they're such all high-ranked players, there's actually no information available since they played off stream. Because both of their games were they're not showing on VG Pro. So I just have what their ranked stats are for recent history. So I'm really interested to see how they're interpreting 3.7 and what they're looking to accomplish with this roster.
It's going to be very shortly that we find out what they're going to be bringing on to the Rise. But before we do, we want to get you guys involved as well that are watching. Hit us up on Twitter. Use the hashtag MGL, hashtag Vainglory. Tweet at MGL_esports. All sorts of different ways that you can get in touch with us. And some of your tweets may even end up featured on the stream. We may talk about some of them if it's really good. So get yourself involved on social media. Shout out to our sponsors, Razer, as well. They're the ones that are making this all possible. So get yourself onto Twitter, get involved, get active, and hopefully we'll see some of you on the stream then. But for now, we are going to be kicking things off with our first draft of our second best of 3 for today. So once again, it is the Netherlands on the blue side taking on Turkey. That will be on the red side for game number 1. Let's get right into it, High Jump.
Yeah, I'm excited for this draft. Again, having to confirm that Yates is in fact not available to be played, as he's not available for Glory yet. We see them looking like they're going to be banning out Anka first pick here.
Yeah, would not be surprising. Again, we've seen Anka. She can have so much impact. She can be dealt with. But if she's able to get rolling, it just becomes an unstoppable mess. So just much safer for a lot of these teams to just say, you know what, let's just not have it in the game at all and ban it away.
Yeah, I like this. Also, getting rid of Turnwalker, he's able to just disrupt so many team fights. The chain is such a great way to be able to just deny a lot of mobility.
Absolutely. And Turnwalker has just seen so much play recently. Well, again, these new captain items have made a lot of heroes that weren't really seeing a ton of play suddenly become incredibly popular. Things like the Flicker and the Turnwalker as well. So there's going to be an Arden getting banned away too. A lot of these utility things getting taken off the board.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they choose here for this last ban. Do they want to get rid of Reza? They get rid of the Grumpjaw. I like this a lot.
Yeah, the Grumpjaw, another one of those, high impact heroes that just has a lot of different things that they can do in a team fight situation or even in just the general movements across the map. So taking it off the board, it's going to be a Catherine first pick. I'm not surprised to see Catherine. I'm surprised to see it first.
Yeah, I think Catherine's a really strong hero. I think it was potentially just taking it. I mean, it's actually, I'm trying to think of trying to remember who would play this, because a lot of people, it feels more like a deny pick to me, to be valuing it so high, just okay, maybe the Netherlands are gonna love this, but we did see it out of their one game that was listed on VG Pro. Mm-hmm. But choosing to take away Grace here, choosing to play this a little bit more reserved, waiting to take their carries. It could be the fact that we've kind of hit that point where teams are kind of evenly matched and they're wanting to hold on to those, important damage dealers towards the later ends of the draft to be able to pick their supports here early.
Yeah, very well could be the case. Tony gonna get grabbed early on as well. Another one of those. We've already had so many of these big impact heroes that have the game-changing type ultimates in team fights, like the Arden, the Grumpjaw, the Turnwalker, taken off the board. So makes a lot of sense to go ahead and grab that Tony while you still have the chance to. Actually, we're going to get kicked back out to the lobby temporarily. We'll get things back on in. One of the players it triggered the bug, so same picks and bans up to that point. Just remind the players and get right back on into this draft. There is currently a bug with the private 5v5 drafts in Vainglory that can cause it to get kicked out to the lobby, and that is what happened there. So it's not a major issue, but it is a minor inconvenience, but it will. It's obviously just going to be getting right on back into this draft. Should be getting caught up to where we were very quickly, as everyone already, again, has to just stick to the same picks, same bands. So we'll be getting there shortly.
Yeah, so let's see here. I mean, it's like what I was talking about, like with these drafts of using, kind of going for these, more utility heroes. First off, lets you kind of look to adapt later on in the draft. You do give away the ability to kind of secure some of these more contested picks, but it does allow you to potentially better react to what your opponents are choosing for their lineup.
So this is going to be the Grace and Tony with the Lorelei answer, and then this is where we left off last time. So with the Baron pick, and we'll see now where the members of Turkey are going to go with their selections. And again, you look at these rosters, and so many of these different countries throughout Europe have talent that you recognize from the top teams in Vainglory. Nomad Vagabond has been around the scene for so long, has played on multiple top teams. You also look on the other side, Hell's Devil, current member of Clash, and has been playing on top teams. Same with Ghost 83, has been around the challenger scene a lot, just started to break into the top level as well. So there's so many different players across these different countries. It's really cool to see them, kind of on these different lineups because of the WESG format.
Yeah.
Oh, so, Kensei. This is one I am really surprised we have not seen more Kensei.
I don't think we've seen a Kensei yet. So I mean that's gonna be awesome to see. It's a hero that I mainly only ever play in Blitz, just because of how busted he can be. So it's always good. Like, it's the same thing as like seeing like Silvernail being played at these higher levels. It's always really cool to see these top players take the hero just to a next level from what we in lower tiers can accomplish.
Yeah,
so
like I said, it's so surprising though that it hasn't been seen that much. Like you mentioned, this could be our first one in WESG, which that is almost shocking to me. The fact that people weren't picking up almost made me forget about it a little bit, but now that it's been picked, I'm just like, wait, why haven't we seen this hero? And this could be a chance for Turkey to just really showcase why he was such a dominant pick throughout VPL and things like that.
Right, and so you see here, it's like being able to pick Kensei as your fourth pick gives you, like, it doesn't give it doesn't give your opponents much time to be able to look to properly counter that hero. So it does offer that as like an option here for kind of delaying these like very high impact picks towards the end of your draft. Again, but it just depends on if like the enemy team's looking to do the same. Because if your opponents are just going to say like, okay, you're going to start your draft a little bit more reserved, well, we're just going to take the top two heroes that you left in the pool, deal with them now. And so it's depending on like a lot of confidence with those heroes as well as a team.
Yeah, so we are going to get these players into the game now. It's just going to be a quick blind pick that the draft was finished. I do want to talk a little bit about the Rhyme pick up there as the answer from the side of Netherlands. Seeing that the Kensei get picked, they go for someone who's very tanky and that Kensei can really struggle against because there's a lot of lockdown with the Rhyme as well. So I like the answer to the Kensei, but still going to be very difficult. Once that Kensei gets scaled up in the late game, not even a Rhyme can go toe-to-toe against him. So it should be really fun to watch to see how Netherlands plays around this hero and how Turkey plays to get this Kensei to that late game power spike.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if they can like actually get to that late game point. You see like 20-30 minutes into the game, where Kensei is going to be able to absolutely just dominate the game. It'll be really challenging, but they do have a Silvernail. They do have Rhyme as well, so if they're able to win in this mid game timing between like 15 and 20 minutes, where they really look to push a lot of objectives, take a lot of the map. It'll be really it'll be harder for Kensei to then just easily win the entire thing. I mean, just in the last game that we watched, we had Anka, who's a snowball powerhouse hero, kind of get shut down. So if he doesn't have like an early game that lets him really get the farm they need to build the items and get skilled up, then this couldn't just be your textbook Kensei domination.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're just dealing with a minor issue, trying to get the game kicked off here. As soon as it does go, we'll be hopping on in, but we need to we'll try one more thing before we just have to remake the whole lobby, which could take a second for us, but we'll see what's going to happen. going to.
We need more hats, man. The important things for the people. I'm actually really happy they had stuff like that. I dig that. Like, you guys see the little halo on Razer in the last game, and it was like super cool.
I'm waiting for a full team of party hats. That's what I'm waiting for, really. Ooh. That the team synergy of party hats. That's what I want.
Exactly. Like, how else do you show that you're a proper team?
Looks like we may have to remake the lobby. So, oh, never mind. The draft decided to go off. So we're just gonna get these players to run through the draft real quick, and hopefully we don't get booted out, and we can get the game underway once this is finished. But it's gonna be real quick because everyone knows what they already picked, and it's just gonna be the exact same picks and bans that we already saw. The blind pick didn't want the launch for whatever reason. I'm not a developer. I don't know these things. So we'll get into this game as soon as we can. Once again, players just going through the draft real quick, grabbing their heroes once more, and then we will be loading on in for the first game of this matchup. Nope, someone is... okay. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, man, these... It's always fun and new ways to find how they can do this. So, I guess we can talk about sorry, basically like who's looking to play what here, but it'd be kind of. I'm more just interested to see how they're going to divvy up these lanes, like where they're going to throw Kensei, and if he's just going to look like leading the top lane, how much they're going to really babysit him. I think like I was talking about earlier, it's really going to be looking to like keep him safe and secure him his farm, be it like going with him into the jungle when he like tries to secure some back camps, or even just kind of like hanging out in the hanging out, taking some of that passive gold and ensuring that you're not going to have this the enemies diving in on him early.
Yeah, it's going to be really important for them to check on that for sure. As once again, just going to be remaking this lobby real quick. So as soon as this gets taken care of, we'll be starting on up. Apologies for the delay in getting started, but we will be getting there eventually. Yeah,
it's too bad not able to have like skins like easily accessible here. You look good, you play good. Such a great way to be able to go into this.
Everyone knows that skins get wins. But unfortunately, it is a minor issue with the client at the moment. And if I can find one more player that I'm trying to find, this one. There he is. All right, so we're going to be trying to get this underway once more. Hopefully, it starts up for us this time around. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be like once this game gets underway, I think it's really going to be interesting to see how much these teams were able to research their opponents and kind of get an understanding of what are their habits. One of the things I always look for when I'm researching individual players is I love looking to see how players look to use their cameras. Mm-hmm. Be it if it's you have like a support making calls just like, hey, you have your camera off cooldown, I need you to drop it right here, and look to see how people counter that. But we do finally have the game loading in.
At long last, we're going to be getting into game. Apologies again for the delays. It's some things that are out of our control, unfortunately, so we can't really be on top of everything as much as we would like to, but we are going to be getting into our first game of Netherlands versus Turkey here in the WESG European qualifiers powered by Razer. And in just a moment, the game will load on in to the Sovereign's Rise, and we will be calling the action. Once again, I'm Tasty Bacon, High Jump casting alongside me, and here we go.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. A lot of what I was seeing in my research and whatnot was actually see DeVoe plays like a decent amount of Scarf, has 9 ranked games going 7-2 with an average KDA of 8-2 and 9. So this should be a pretty good hero for him. And I think he does offer just like enough mobility to not continuously get hit by these Baron mortars.
That's going to be one of the keys. Will be those Baron mortars. Hell's Devil playing this CP Baron here in the mid lane, no less. So he's going to be getting a lot of farm for himself, a lot of gold going to get funneled onto Hell's Devil. He's going to be the main carry for this Netherlands side. And obviously he's known for playing things like the Kestrel. He's known for being able to go off and have these incredible carry games. But is he going to be able to do it here against Turkey?
Yeah, I do like this too. It's like we were talking about, having enough mobility to dodge the mortars, but also being able to dodge the Lorelei stun is going to be a key thing here. Also see, trading away of the enemy's camps. I like, the amount of posturing from both teams. But also, Ghost looking to go take the weapon Treant. Hasn't been discovered yet, but Kensei is going to find a tasty Catherine to go after here.
Yeah, but obviously Catherine, not the easiest target to take down, has the Merciless Pursuit in order to get out of a sticky situation. Going to have to use it right here, but will be able to do so. Lifeguard Catherine skin looking pretty clean on the Sovereign's Rise. Expect her to spend a lot of time near the river, because that's, if you're going to be a lifeguard, you got to stay near water.
Yeah, and then we see looking to take the enemy red buff as well here. Hell's Devil trying to defend out everything, but the rest of the team is closing in. I think we're DeVoe's dead here.
DeVoe just getting left behind by his team. They say, you know what? We're not going to stay and contest this. The red buff goes over to Hell's Devil, and the kill goes over to the Netherlands, as it's actually Flourishu that takes that one. So, pretty solid start for the side of Netherlands, splitting the buffs, one apiece, or two apiece, I should say, but then also getting themselves that first blood bonus as well. So they're going to be feeling pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, it's definitely a great way to start this. Rhyme kind of sitting here in lane a little bit. There's no camps for him to go take, so I like even just posturing, throw out extra damage to everyone here on the Grace. It's a smart play by me.
Well, right now, Hell's Devil in this mid lane. This is where most of the focus, I think, is going to end up being in this game. And just because of the fact that both Scarf and Baron are going to be really important for their team's damage in the team fights. Obviously, the Kensei as well is going to be a massive impact player. But that's going to be a lot of just kind of idle farming for the Kensei to get there. They're sending Kensei into the duo lane with having both the Tony and the Kensei together to make sure that Kensei stays safe. And then, of course, the Catherine going to be hanging, or the Lorelei going to be hanging around with the Baron. So really making sure that both of these carries stay safe.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they're not diving, that they didn't just choose to dive in there onto DeVoe. I know a lot, the rest of Turkey was missing, but the Scarf was a little bit overextended, and with Scarf being pretty dang squishy, they could still look to put some damage in on them.
Ghost could be in some trouble, but the rest of the Netherlands are here to help defend. A nice taunt. Sedkin almost getting dive onto Ghost 83, but knowing better than to go chasing that kill into the entirety of the team. So no one's going to end up falling here. Just another little skirmish over those crystal buffs. But once again, the buff's going to get split 1 for 1.
Yeah, I like the attempt here. Everyone trying to take away the healing treant while running away. Staying decently safe. Does have that crystal buff. Not the best target for it, but again, as long as it's not going to the enemy, you're happy.
Absolutely. And so I like what Gaming for NL is doing, although going to be low on energy now. Can't really help Hell's Devil too much. Hell's Devil going to go low. Not quite falling, but Gaming for NL has been putting down that healing platform. Going to not quite get enough damage, or not quite going to clip Hell's Devil there, but Gaming for NL is putting down the movement speed pool underneath himself so that he can get those instant stun attempts out onto the enemies.
On the Ghost. Ghost gets away here, even gets the healing treant for their trouble. I do like what I'm Dead and Sakan are doing. Really, farming together, but also looking to just go aggressive. It's really interesting to see two melee heroes able to just kind of really dive on in and get so much damage.
Yeah, they're gonna send a pretty sizable wave into Ghost's turret, which could allow Sedkin and I'm Dead to go and rotate. I'm Dead wants to focus on that top lane, but Sedkin coming down towards the mid. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to accomplish too much off of that, but that's something that you have to keep your eyes on for, is when they do push in this lane onto Ghost, do they make rotations and try and make a play while Ghost has to stay behind to clear out these minions?
Yeah. See the bottom chart finally going down to Florishu and Joey. They've been pushing Grace back consistently. Rhyme just zoning her out while Silver Nails is able to deal so much damage to that tower.
We're going to have a little bit of a fight over this Crystal Treant. 4 members of Turkey looking to take this one. They do get it. Now they look to maybe go in for a fight. I'm Dead going deep onto Hell's Devil, trying to find that kill, but here comes the rest of the Netherlands. Joey Skaggs and Florishu joining the fray. Everyone could potentially be a target here, but everyone is solo. Big chill wins, and that's going to be getting 2 kills for the side of the Netherlands. And they just rack up a couple more. 3-0 now in favor of the Netherlands.
Yeah, this has been really smart. I think, like I said, they're looking to really win towards this mid game when Silvernail is going to come online a little bit faster than I think Kensei will. And so the fact that they're looking to fight early and to not basically give free farm to Kensei and to Scarf is just really smart on their side to realize that it's on them to make these fights happen.
Absolutely, and as they do make that fight happen now, the next Crystal Treant, they're rotating towards it, but I don't think Netherlands are going to be able to take this one away. That does go the way of Turkey, but again, with the kills that the Netherlands got off the last one, I think they're more than happy to go ahead and give up one of those crystal buffs. And Joey Skaggs and Florishu, this is going to be the duo to watch, it seems now, as the game has started to shape up a bit more, as obviously they're moving around the map a little bit better than what we're seeing out of Sedkin and I'm Dead. While they are staying paired, they're not quite getting the map rotations that the members from the Netherlands are able to do.
Yeah, they're happy here to just back off, go farm out the lower jungle, and let the bottom lane push in. They're trying to make sure that the Grace isn't able to farm freely, back towards their tier 2 turret.
That's the goal for them, but Sedkin and I'm Dead, they're looking to rotate, but again, not able to really get anything as a result of this. Ghost has rotated down, could potentially miss out on some CS if they decide to go and shove that lane once again, but it's all about these crystal buffs. That's what these players care about the most, is making sure that they get these buffs on rotation.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of posturing. Kensei is doing a decent job being able to secure 39 CS so far.
Netherlands rotating up top. Looks like they want to buy a little bit of space for Ghost 83. They're not going to quite find the kill that they were hoping to get. A little bit too aggressive too early, I think, from Ghost.
Yeah. But, he's, like I said before, Kensei's keeping up with the Silvernail really well. Another fight breaking out here, though.
Yeah, don't think too much is going to come from this. A lot of health on Everyone and on Nomad Vagabond as well. Whereas Ghost and Joey Skaggs both fairly low, so I don't think they really want to commit to anything on the side of Netherlands unless they get a lot of poke and harass damage down with these mortars. But obviously Hell's Devil is going to be more focused on getting the farm. Ghost going in deep despite the low health. Isn't going to be punished just yet. Nomad with a great Lyra ultimate to bring everyone in. But here comes the damage. Rhyme and Baron just melting through members of Turkey as they get themselves a few kills. Joey Skaggs going to go low, but he gets a stun onto Sedken, and they're able to answer. And meanwhile, on the backside, it is this Rhyme from Florishu just demolishing members of Turkey. They find 4 more kills in return for just losing out on 1.
Yeah, that's the nice thing, though, is when the enemy team has a Lyra, you're able to just use that teleport to get to the back lines in those situations.
I'm Dead. Gonna be in trouble underneath the turret. Tried to stick around just to defend those minions. Ends up giving up his life for it. So Netherlands really starting to kind of push the issue here now, 9 minutes into this game.
Yeah, you talked about a lot there about the being able to poke down the enemy team using mortars. I mean, Ryan throwing out his A. I mean, there's so much poke damage on the side of the Netherlands that it's they're able to whittle everyone down a bit more before engaging, or even just in this case, just getting engaged upon. They're like, okay, sure, you guys are you're already low enough. We can win this.
And I really like the way that they're building around this poke composition. Using spellfires from both Rhyme and Baron to say, okay, when we land that poke, it's going to continue ticking on them and just going to do that much more damage before the fight even actually kicks off.
Exactly. And it's taking down this percent health too. Grace and Tony are likely to build kind of tanky, and so it'll help whittle them down more and more. But early game 2, it's just like, okay, if we just posture around this and keep them somewhat engaged, we can look to win fights easier. But now we're turning our attention to Ghostwing.
Yeah, Ghostwing is going to be target. It's going down very quickly. This is really just Joey Skaggs and Flourishu working on Ghostwing by themselves, able to take it down. No one from the side of Turkey really able to get there to even think about contesting against that take. So another advantage for the side of Netherlands. Joey Skaggs looked to get those stakes and get that chain down to be able to stop DeVoe. Maybe look for a kill, but this could be a fight here. That's a lot of members from the side of Turkey clustered up, but a lot of damage being done again from range by these members of the Netherlands.
Yeah, and it's Nomad's been having a rough time here, being able to just try to save the team, but just getting forced back every time from all this poke, because Liar can be so immobile.
It absolutely can be, but right now, Netherlands, they're looking for opportunities. They're just trying to push members away, trying to get someone low so that they can go for that all-in engage. Again, just focusing on this poke composition, because once they get that poke down, then you just have the Lorelei movement speed boost along with the Catherine to just be able to engage, and that's going to be actually Sedkin taking a lot of damage there. Has to back off, has to play safe under the turret. Black Claw has just spawned. But it looks like Netherlands, they just want to push in. They can take this turret down, perhaps, as long as they are careful about the turret aggro. And they are going to take that turret down, get the stun onto Aberone, and Aberone is just deleted off the map. Black Claw, they don't even care right now. They can just continue this push. Meanwhile, you've got DeVoe in the enemy jungle, just nowhere close to being able to help his team defend, and they've just lost the armory turret.
Yeah, I like what DeVoe was doing early on there. It's just a thing was farming up, pushing out bots.
There's going to be the teleport in, but is that going to be teleporting to their doom? The AoE damage is just too much for Turkey to handle. DeVoe going to be the next target now. He goes down very low, but there's the jump forward from Hell's Devil. The mortars are going to find their mark. A double kill, and this is going to be an armory going down. This could possibly even be the game if they really want to push it. They've got 3 members down on the side of Turkey, and it looks like they're going to try and finish this one off. Joey Skaggs going low, but so the Vein Crystal is the priority target. Nice bada boom to try and split people up. Hell's Devil low as well, but so is the Vein Crystal. The respawn's coming through. They get the kill into Hell's Devil, but it's not going to matter. The Vein Crystal has exploded, and just like that, the Netherlands take a decisive Game 1 victory.
Yeah, that was really well done. Again, realizing that they have to go hard in this early game, and basically just forcing the issue really early on. Kensei was able to finish Servant's Mask and Breaking Point, but wasn't able to get the survivability. Nor was his team really able to kind of really get their footing to be able to help him, basically be the Kensei that can win all these games. So I really like how well they played around Baron in the start, and then realizing that Joey on the Silvernail and Flourishu on the Rhyme were starting to just dominate the game. So they're like, okay, we'll play around you guys. Go start taking objectives. We'll be the distraction.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what adaptations are going to be made for this next matchup, but it's definitely going to be something has to change for the side of Team Turkey if they want to come back in this one, because it really felt like Netherlands were in control the entire time. We're going to go ahead and get these players set up for game number 2 in just a moment. Until we do, take a look at where we stand in the brackets right now. As on the Group A bracket, we did see our earlier matchup pushing Team Russia to the finals of Group A with a 2-0 victory over France. And of course, we're here with the Netherlands and Turkey. Netherlands looking to join Russia.
Yeah, it's gonna be this is gonna be an uphill battle. I mean, from the here on, it's very much gonna be the best of the best teams, getting better and better here. But really, so I mean, I'm already thinking about this game too. What can change? I think it's really just got to be a lot of the shot calling early on, or maybe finding supports that are a little bit more can be a little bit more active in the early game. But I mean, I think Lyra was a good choice. I think it was just a little bit too aggressive, even when they're playing behind. I think with like once she throws down the ultimate, you're very much enticed to just basically like all go in, and it's hard to once you all go through that portal, most heroes aren't going to have an escape option. Like that Scarf, was able to deal with staying a little bit more mobile at the start of the game, but once you get dove on, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just that early pressure that they were able to apply on the side of Netherlands, the rotations coming out from the Silvernail and the Rhyme, and again, just how much impact the Rhyme was able to have alongside the Baron. Both of those crystal power poke heroes being able to just get that damage out there and get those, the spellfires burning on their opponents, really just prevented Turkey from being able to get involved in any of the fights, because as soon as they wanted to try and engage, they were already starting the fight at half health or missing a player and things like that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. The fact that they were able to pick up that Rhyme and then just instantly go, realize that, like, okay, yeah, this is how we can counter this Kensei. I love that just confidence of just like, yeah, I know exactly what we need to do, and this is how we're gonna be handling it.
Absolutely. I'm just waiting for one more player to be ready to go, and then we will be jumping on into game number 2 as soon as they are back on. It looks like they may have been still in the game lobby. There we go. They finally closed out of that, so we can get them back into lobby for game number 2 and start up this draft for game number 2 of this series. Again, it's going to be Netherlands looking for a clean 2-0 to push themselves into the Group A finals, whereas Turkey is going to look to fight back and make this a 3-game set.
Yeah. Let's see here. I mean, there's a little bit of time between games, gives them a little bit of time to kind of like refocus and think about like, okay, what do we want to do here? And we see them taking that time here with just this first ban. It's like, okay, what was the problem? Do we need to change our bans? What happens if they just pick the same draft again? How are we going to handle it?
Looks like it is going to be Churnwalker taken off the board first for the side of Turkey. So again, power pick, take it off the board, makes a lot of sense. It's one that you could first pick if you're planning on playing it, but if you don't want to run it in your composition or you just don't want to first pick it, it's one of those heroes that you kind of have to take off the board because it will almost certainly be grabbed in the first rotation by B-side.
Yeah, I like the idea of banning away the Arden. He's such a strong hero and offers so much disruption in these team fights.
Absolutely does. We'll see if they take the Arden off the board here, because with the Anka gone, that's one of those burst assassins. It's actually going to be no ban from the side of Turkey here on their second ban rotation. Interesting to see. A lot of times we do see some teams do that just because they want to leave extra power picks available to them. But it will be Petal then the ban there for the side of Netherlands. So also wanting to leave power picks open. Arden is going to be the first pick. And now the Netherlands gets their pick a litter. A lot of choices still available. This Catherine Toney could very well be the way that they decide to go, though.
Yeah. What makes Petal so strong that's like that she's ban-worthy in your eyes?
I don't think Petal is necessarily ban-worthy. I think a lot of times when Petal is getting banned, it's just because they want to leave another power pick open instead of banning it away. So they wanted to make sure that they have those options available to them, because I don't really see anyone playing Petal competitively right now.
Okay, that's one of those things that I was kind of like scratching my head on when I was researching. It's like, well, why?
Yeah, a lot of it's if they're trying to just throw away a ban. They'll throw away the Petal and the Ozo are like the two that just kind of get like, all right, we don't actually want to make a ban, but we don't want to sit here and wait the 30 seconds for the thing to time out, so we just ban away one of those two, because it leaves power picks open. It leaves yourself with choices. Reza is still open. You still have the Kensei open. You still have a lot of these other picks that do often see bans now are available.
Yeah. I mean, honestly here, Arden, Grumpjaw, Lorelei, not too bad, of pickups here. I kind of like how both teams are just like, you know what, we're just going to leave everything on the table here. Just let's make like some really OP lineups and see how well you guys can deal with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if something like the Razer does come through. Another one of those heroes that gets banned all the time. Flicker still available as well, but it's going to be the Tony and the Finn. This is a protect the Baron composition if I ever saw one coming out of Netherlands.
Yeah, I think they're realizing, like, okay, they know how much like this Baron can do in a fight now. They're probably going to be refocusing onto him. Let's just make sure we can save his butt.
All right, so with
Vox coming out as well.
Yeah, Vox is going to get grabbed there, and then the Celeste. So a very kind of traditional composition for the side of Turkey. Arden and Lorelei to be sort of protectors. I would assume that we're going to see one of those two go a little bit offensive as well. But then you have Grumpjaw to be this disruption in the midst of the fight, and then Vox and Celeste both scaling up over the course of a team fight and just getting that massive damage out. Silvernail as the final pick. So happy that we're finally seeing Silvernail more and more frequently here in WESG and in Vainglory in general. But this is going to be all about those two carries. So much protection between the rest of their picks with the Catherine, Tony, and Finn. And that those two carries, if they don't get jumped on instantly in a team fight, they're going to run wild.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it happen in, like, not just this series, but in the last series as well. That Silvernail can just do so much damage, and Joey played a great Silvernail last game too. So it's gonna be one or the other. It's like, you gonna focus Baron or you gonna focus Silvernail.
Yeah, not an easy choice to make, because again, when you do try and focus them, you're going to be having to deal with the Tony, with the Catherine, with the Finn, all with crowd control and protection for those carries. So we are going to be getting into game now, and this is game number 2 of the best of 3, potentially our final game of the day if the Netherlands pick up the victory. But Team Turkey would like to have another game here on WESG European Qualifier, and we'll see if they are going to be able to be successful in that endeavor.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing like how much like CC can be provided here on the side of coming out of the Finn and as well as the Catherine. Like, think about like Grumpjaw diving in, or being able to like use stuff and grab someone to like try to run out. They could just fall right back in, just like, you're dead instead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Finn is one of those heroes you talked about at the beginning of our broadcast today, that Finn has been seeing a lot of play from various teams, and now he's going to be on the rise here for our first time today, at least. So definitely going to be able to try and showcase what he can do. We do see members of Turkey grab away the enemy blue buff and steal away a bit of their jungle. But you look on the other side of the map and you have members of the Netherlands doing the exact same thing on the Turkey side of the map. So things are going to be pretty even through this first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that there was, I think they've just assumed that there was already going to be pressure on that Crystal Treant from the side of Turkey, because basically Silvernail and Tony, they started at the top healing Treant and just worked their way down, kind of like, oh, there's no one here taking this, we can just take this for ourselves.
Yeah, able to just clean out the enemy jungle for themselves without really any fight for it. So you're going to be pretty happy when you're able to do that. You can see Silvernail already up to that 10 CS mark alongside Hell's Devil, Vox, and the Devo on Celeste. So all 4 of these carries going to be very happy with the way that this game has started, getting really no pressure on them when they're trying to farm.
Yeah. I mean, Baron, just like no pressure at all here. Already getting 15 CS, already said 1,000 gold. First item is going to, like, the first star of an item here is going to be coming out. Heavy Prism as well as Sprint Boots. I'm not sure how you're going to get away from this guy in this early game now, especially as a Celeste. You are so slow.
Yeah, the thing about that is actually really what's been really interesting about the start is because Silvernail and Tony were able to just rotate through the jungle, they cleared out both sides of the jungle. So while the CS numbers look very similar, the actual gold that was gained per CS for Joey Skaggs is higher than anyone else. So you see he's sitting on 1,600 gold at just 3 minutes in. That is a very nice spot to be at. So they're going to get some aggressive vision down as well. They could very well just look to just put so much pressure on this Arden. I'm Dead is going to really have trouble against this duo.
Yeah, or just like cutting the wave here, just not giving them any chance to be able to free farm. I love this aggression. I think they're like the first game, they're giving their opponents like a bit of respect, but I think now they're just like they're still feeling that same momentum that like, you know what, we can just go hard. We can just like we can be a little more aggressive. We can go dive into this jungle and just not care. We dominated that last game. Let's go do it again.
Yeah, and again, just the small advantages, little things that can give your team a lead. You see, the members of Turkey, they went ahead, invaded, and took, with 4 members, were able to take down that Crystal Treant. But meanwhile, Joey Skaggs and Flourishu just taking the same amount of jungle camps, but with just 2 members on their team. So getting just that better efficiency on the side of the Netherlands, and it's already led to about 1,000 gold lead, despite not really having many skirmishes this game.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, Sudkhan is doing pretty well with his Vox on with 25 CS, getting a decent amount of farm. As long as they're able to kind of like look again towards a little bit closer towards late game, I think with a Vox, they can look to eventually win as long as he positions well. But I think a lot of it's going to be how do they take care of this Silvernail and Tony right now, because they're both just getting pretty big as a result of this farming pattern.
Yeah, thankfully for them right now, Silvernail is not actually that big because he hasn't spent any of that gold, but once he does get to the shop, he is going to be massive. A beautiful taunt onto Nomad and Devo, but the rest of the team comes in to answer. First Blood will actually go the way of Turkey, along with Second Blood as well, as that is Vox getting both of those for him. But again, Joey Skaggs, once he shops, is just going to come out with a massive power spike. River shops have spawned, so he can just finish off this wave and go ahead and hit that shop up. That's exactly what he's going to do. And you'll see the amount of power he's going to suddenly have once he does eventually get himself down to that shop.
Yeah. Really valuing every single CS here, knows that it's like, okay, I can go buy this and potentially get a little bit more harass onto I'm Dead, but I was gonna say, it's like I bet he's gonna go take the healing treant first before even shopping.
Yeah, it's just so much that he's taken. Again, 40 CS right now, highest CS in the game by almost 10, even over the mid laners. But so much of the CS is the jungle camps too. He still hasn't shopped. He's waiting.
Why did he not buy?
I'm assuming he's waiting to just one-off purchase the Sorrow Blade. Like, that's what it feels like, or the Serpent's Mask if he decides to go that route. But he has so much gold he's sitting on. But keep in mind, he is effectively just a level 1 character right now. Yes, he has the levels, but he doesn't have any of the damage because he hasn't bought yet. Once he does eventually get there, Ghost 83 is actually going to get caught on the bottom side of the map, but Joey Skaggs, he's got to get to the shop soon or he's not going to be able to help his team really in these skirmishes.
Yeah, it's so surprising me. But I think, here we've got... like they're still posturing a bunch, like, please go buy something. You're headed to the shop.
He just walked past it. I don't understand why Joey's not buying. He's lulling his opponents into a false sense of security by making them think he doesn't do much damage, and then when an actual team fight happens, he's going to shop right before it and just melt through them. That's the only thing I can imagine right now.
Yeah, so this does give Turkey a window of opportunity, though. As long as they keep, pushing this aggression. I mean, Joey's getting pushed farther and far away from his shop, so they're invading the jungle and looking to take this red buff.
This is going to be a fight here. Joey Skaggs getting immediately blown up. Not quite going to fall just yet. A lot of protection for him, but he doesn't have the damage to turn that into a kill. That should have been a kill for the side of Netherlands. A great Vox ultimate. It's going to silence everyone, but still nobody has gone down just yet. That is actually almost unbelievable that nobody fell during that trade.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, that should have been a kill. Like, there's the fact that like people are so low here. You can only imagine how much more damage that Joey would have done if he had actual items. But again, we see here, the first gauntlet coming out. I'm Dead, still just looking to get aggressive, even though he was kind of getting bullied a lot in lane. I really like to see this kind of like they're not really faltering after that last game.
Joey Skaggs, he's next to the shop. Will he actually purchase this time? He does. There's the Sorrow Blade. One-off purchase, the Sorrow Blade, and getting a couple other tier 2 items. That's 4,000 plus gold that he just spent in one go. So now, if another skirmish breaks out, he is going to be doing a lot of damage. Let's see, that was an I think that was just a
He was
graphical
taunted, but still
thing.
running.
Yeah, I think that was just a graphics thing on the spectate client because it didn't look like the taunt had connected. I was a little surprised to see it pop up, but that's going to be everyone eating up Joey Skaggs, pulling him down, or sorry, Florishoe, pulling him down to the rest of the team. Florishoe on his own, but is able to get out as Joey Skaggs finds the first kill for Netherlands in this game. As now it's going to be potentially a Ghost Wing if they want, but they're a little low, so they don't actually want to risk this one.
Yeah, so Khan just got absolutely nuked there. He has very little survivability in these team fights if he gets picked out.
Cool.
And so
It's going to be a stun onto I'm Dead. The play company going to keep everyone in the area. Joey Skaggs potentially has the potential to turn and burn onto someone, but he's not going to use it. His teammate's a little bit too low. They don't want to commit to that fight. But meanwhile, Hell's Devil was just pushing in this mid lane. Those mortars doing so much work to that turret. Going to get it down to about half health. They find a kill onto the Grumpjaw. Stepped a little too far forward.
yeah, used his dash in and then just got stunned up immediately by Catherine, so he doesn't really have a way to get out of that fight. I mean, earlier when like Sedcon went down that team fight, that was after Aver won and used the stuff and was trying to run back, and so while the rest of the team was collapsing to take care of Florishoe, which they didn't end up getting, they kind of just left him there with no support. They're just like, oh, we can go get this kill, but lose their box instead.
Oh, Sedkin was in such a risky spot there, but Ghost did not use the Merciless Pursuit to stun him. That's going to be actually a lot of damage going on to him, though. Netherlands, they know that they have so much damage in their composition. It's just a matter of actually getting someone into the right position to take them down. But they're going to back off for now. Go ahead, clear out these waves. A lot of minions getting pushed up towards both of these turrets. I'm going to go ahead and clear those out so that they don't lose these objectives.
Yeah.
Ghost 83 looking to, thought about contesting against that healing treant, but didn't want to. But now Ghost Wing getting it started up by the members of Turkey. I like this call here. They have vision on a couple of members of the Netherlands not being anywhere close to this side of the map. And that's going to be a free Ghost Wing take for Turkey. But meanwhile, Netherlands, they're going to be pushing up top. Joey Skaggs, now that he has that damage, is able to burn through these turrets very quickly. They will take down that top turret, and it's like they just want to keep pushing to say, you know what, if they're not going to come try and stop us, there's no reason for them to actually stop that push.
Yeah, I think the rest of the team is doing a really good job about this too. You have Hell's Devil like almost taking down this mid turret as it falls just now. It's just about being smart on basically on your other heroes, like making sure they're not like they're taking farm, but they're not like dying. Like Ghost is playing this bot lane so well. Like the offlaner position is like you kind of sack that role at times. It's like basically just give them the objective of don't die, get the farm that you can, but just don't die.
And that's actually, part of this is also something that I want to criticize Turkey a little bit for. They grabbed that Ghost Wing. Ghost Wing helps you take turrets. A lot of times when you get this Ghost Wing, it's because you're looking to group up, either find a fight with the barrier or find objectives with that turret extra bonus damage. They got the Ghost Wing and then lost out on the turret trades 2-1. So definitely a little bit of missteps there, not really using the advantage that you were able to get with that Ghost Wing.
Yeah, it's one of the things like maximizing the usefulness of it. I think it was the right call to take it. I think it's just after the fact, like it's the right call to take because they're all right there, but it could just be more like the Netherlands were already spread out across the map, and so they were able to kind of like properly answer losing that objective.
And that's also something, as much as I say you have to criticize Turkey for not using that Ghost Wing, you also have to give praise to the Netherlands of being able to defend and deal with that Ghost Wing being taken extremely well, and recognizing, okay, they're going to take Ghost Wing, it's on the bottom side of the map, we'll send 2 of our guys up to the top, push that turret, take that objective, keep a couple members near the bottom side so that they can't fully commit to the turrets themselves either. So I really like what Netherlands has been doing. They have themselves a gold lead despite still being down on kills. They have not been very aggressive this game. Mostly just, it feels like they're waiting for Joey Skaggs and Hell's Devil to really get third offensive items. I think is going to be the tipping point for the Netherlands, and once that happens, that's when I expect to see fights getting pushed.
Yeah, we see that Joey's already got that breaking point. This is really where it's going to, I think this is really where you start to take off.
Couple ultimates burned. Hell's Devil is in a bad spot, though. The ultimate not going to be doing anything there. Joey Skaggs on his own up in the top lane, though. So again, this is Netherlands just wanting to keep members distracted so that Joey can make as much progress in this top lane as possible. He's going to get himself onto this turret, knowing he's got plenty of time. And look how quickly that turret goes down with just the Silver Nail here. Because of the damage he's got, doesn't quite get the turret in one minion wave. I mean, I don't think he needed to commit to it because he should be able to get it here. Arden's going to try and just delay this minion wave from getting under the turret, but he's going to lose so much health in the process. Joey Skaggs, though, has to be worried about the rest of the team showing up, so he is going to back off. But that just goes to show, by himself, Joey Skaggs has a lot of damage still.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, like, whether or not he should or should not have. I think it's like if he just taken like a tower hit and then back there, I think there was potential for the rest of.
Nice taunt onto Vox. Flourishu trying to start up a fight, but not really going to be able to get anything else.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of potential for Turkey to collapse on him earlier, but they were all kind of just like hanging out in mid lane and not really looking to punish the Silver Nail as much as they could have.
Yep. So now with Ghostwing back up, we'll see if either of these teams are going to commit to it. It looks like Netherlands are just waiting for Turkey to make the move and want to try and catch them out of position. One thing that is, I think is important to talk about is the level on these skills. Actually, that's going to be Vox getting caught out hard. Does get the fortified health to be able to get out of harm's way, and actually turns around and just blows up Joey Skaggs. That is a great job by Turkey, finding themselves now 2 kills, of turning a bad situation into a great one. That looked like it was going to be the Vox getting caught out for sure. And now all of a sudden Hell's Devil is the only damage dealer left for the Netherlands, but he's got a lot of damage. He's going to try and turn this fight, but he does get caught out and dropped. Now Gaming for NL will get silenced, taken down underneath the turret, and just like that, Turkey finds themselves 4 kills at 4-0.
That was a really smart idea that Gaming for NL had there with the hook, but I think it just came a little bit too late. Couldn't save Hells there from the absolute domination of that Vox. He was getting those breaking point stacks so quickly. I think he had like 5 or 6 there at one point in time, thanks to all those bounces.
That's one of the big differences between this Vox build and the Silver Nail build. Is Vox has that Serpent's Mask, has that little bit of durability, has the Slumbering Husk as well. And that Slumbering Husk just saved his life and allowed him to turn this fight around. That's going to be the Black Claw getting captured. Nearly got stolen, but not quite. And so Turkey looking very strong in this one. It looked like it was just going to be Netherlands biding their time, waiting for the power spikes, and then taking over the game. But Turkey finding these couple of team fights looking really strong now.
Yeah, I think really the thing is that Tudkan is able to do a lot more damage to the rest of the team, like, effectively poking them down, using all these balances to get like extra damage on the rest of the team. Unlike
Sedken going in deep, gonna get bot boomed into a wall, but still isn't going down. So much protection with the Lorelei, keeping him alive. That is massive for the side of Turkey. Look at those barriers from Arden, barriers from Lorelei. He is just so difficult to actually kill because of that. Blackclaw is going to grab a second turret here before going down. Force the core not quite going to connect, and Turkey have themselves another 2 turrets and get themselves very close in gold once again.
Yeah, double camera coming out here, a little bit of a flub, but they're basically looking to secure as much vision as possible to maintain this aggression, hopefully going forward. Like, if they realize Silver Nail's farming in the jungle, they can look to go bot lane. Ghost is kind of like shopping up here before going to farm the rest of this lane. You can see Vagabond looking to contest this healing tree on hit, but nope, Ghostwing is more important.
Yeah, absolutely. Ghostwing is going to be more important, as Weapon Treant will also go over to Sedken just to give him a little bit of a power boost in the next fight as well. And we talked so much about Joey Skaggs early on, the gold that was getting funneled onto him, the CS. You look at him, 109 CS right now. He has the most CS in the game, but he has no durability in his kit. He doesn't have escapes in his kit. He has no durability in his itemization. So when he gets targeted, he just goes down so quickly. And that's a massive thing that I think Netherlands needs to focus on, is being able to keep him alive. That's going to be Grumshot using the stuffed onto Tony. Not necessarily the target you want, as Flourishu is tanky enough. There was so much damage coming over the wall. Here comes the rest of the Netherlands. Arden is not here to provide the protection, but Sedken is just not getting targeted at all. He is just trying to take down this Tony. But now they have to try and regroup. Sedken's going to get taunted up and just prevented from doing damage. He will fall. That's
Very
Joey
well
Skaggs
done.
finding that kill. A great job by Netherlands, but now can they continue this pressure? They find another kill onto the Arden, who was late to the party, and Hell's Devil was doing so much work this fight.
Yeah, that was really smart. The fact, like, Florshoe, like, running away and then just coming back into taunt, keeping keeping Sedkin out of position here.
Oh, Force Court's going to pull one in. That's going to be a quick kill onto the Lorelei. Nearly a kill going on to Joey Skaggs from that Celeste ultimate, but instead it's Devo who's in trouble now, and Devo will fall thanks to the the Spellfire from Baron. So all of a sudden, Netherlands turning up the heat.
Yeah, that was really well done. Joey got away with the magic pixel of life.
Yeah, he did.
Even throwing out barriers here from the Crucible to keep him alive through anything like Spellfire, just like, please don't die. But back to that first like bit of a team fight, you know, keeping Simkin out of, you know, basically out of position here as the rest of the Netherlands were able to like effectively pincer in and be able to take him down, really just punishing that aggression.
All right, so Sedkin, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I saw him purchase a poison shiv and then sell it and pick up the tornado trigger instead. So he has a lot of gold. He had a lot of gold going into that one. Is nearly full build. Does have an extra, can finish off the boots, but has been doing really well for himself. Obviously, in terms of just the gold generation that he's been able to pick up, has double buffs. No infusions though on the side of Turkey, except for the Celeste, and that one's about to time out. So that could be something to keep our eyes on, is these infusion timings as a fight is about to start up potentially over this Ghost Wing. A big ultimate goes through and does actually... Yeah, the Vox and Celeste, both with their ultimates down. Those are big team fight ultimates that are now not available to the side of Turkey. They need to be careful here.
Yeah, I think the Netherlands, like, you know, seeing those two ultimates come out, they're thinking that, like, okay, we can probably look to fight for this Ghost Wing now. There's not going to be a big AoE silence as we, you know, try to run in. But they just have to be aware of the gauntlet and not just getting their team separated.
There's two Crucibles on the side of Turkey, so this Force to Core is going to be tough to connect. They're chasing down Devo. At least Florishu is chasing down Devo. The rest of the team is fighting here up by Ghostwing. That's going to be actually Grumpjaw, the first target. Meanwhile, Sedkin is untouched for a while, but as soon as they turn onto him, he is melting quick. So much damage from Hell's Devil and Joey Skaggs. They find the kills. Lorelei is going to try and get out on the back of the pit, but has nowhere to go. And that is going to be 4 kills for 0 in favor of Netherlands. Ghostwing's going to go their way. Black Claw is up as well. They can rotate there right after if they'd like. We'll see if that's the call.
Yeah, honestly, I think one thing that's like we can take note of here is that one mortar from Baron triggers Sedkin's like Slumbering Husk.
Yep.
So it's they're basically able to just like poke out that effect super early on, so that he's not getting, you know, the full value of all that fortified health when the real fight breaks out. And
also, Joey Skaggs did get himself a Slumbering Husk as well. So he's able to take a good bit of damage up front, which is really important for the amount of damage output they need from him. But Ghost Claw, or Ghost Wing and Black Claw, I feel like if you have both of those, we can go ahead and call it Ghost Claw. But that's going to be a Black Claw pushing down the mid lane now for the Netherlands. They're kind of splitting up here. It looks like but it looks like they're going to be bringing Joey Skaggs back to join the rest of the team with the Black Claw. If they can find a couple of kills here, they could potentially push in for the game. But it's going to be up to Turkey to try and defend this.
Yeah, I do like the idea initially, but I think it's the fact that like the rest of the team wasn't
Force Cord gets blocked. That's a crucial block. If that had gone through, that could have been disaster for Turkey. But now Black Claw is on this armory turret. Lots of damage getting spread out via Hell's Devil with these Baron mortars. We'll be able to take down the turret. They get on into the base. Sedkin is super low, but he's going to be able to get to the safety. However, this is now the armory down, and it looks like they want to keep pushing. They have everyone up, though, so they need to be careful. Looks like now they're going to make the decision back out, but Sedkin gets caught. Sedkin falls. This could be the game. With that one kill, could be all they need to pull the trigger. Gauntlet from Arden, but it's not going to do enough. They're going to find a bit more damage there, but they are backing out. I don't agree with this decision here overall. I think that it's going to be fine for them, but I feel like they absolutely should have pushed the issue. Once they took down that box, they easily, I think, could have found the damage onto DeVoe and just finished this game off. Instead, Netherlands will back out, and Turkey will survive to fight another fight.
Yeah, I mean, here they lost Florishu, but Gauntlet's down for another 80 seconds. I agree with your opinion there on looking to force that issue. With Gauntlet being down too, I think they could have looked to just retreat a little bit. If fountains were available, from the side of gaming, they could have just looked to heal up a little bit and then force the issue again, and just looked to win this out.
And the big thing for me there was that if you're winning team fights convincingly, then fine, back off and just say, okay, you know what, we don't want to risk it. We'll just take the next team fight and close it out then. But the team, yes, they won that last skirmish pretty handily, but this is still anyone's game. Turkey can still win these team fights. Turkey has won team fights in this game, so it is anything but a done deal for the side of the Netherlands at the moment. Obviously, they have the advantage. They have the momentum. They have the confidence on their side, but if they lose this next fight, all of a sudden things start to get a bit shaky. So they really need to make sure that they keep on top of their vision control and their positioning as they look for another fight. That's going to be a stun onto Aver1, a taunt onto the Lorelei. Force to Cord does get blocked. Great Crucible and a much needed one.
Yeah, definitely looking posture here. Try to force the issue around Ghostwing. Either not even having to actually start it, just threatening to take it.
And that's exactly what they're looking to do. Just trying to force Turkey to have to come in. That's going to be a bad positioning for Sedkin. Takes a lot of damage. Florishu going in deep. They're trying to find the damage onto anyone they can now. And it's going to be Sedkin is the target. He's going to be surviving for so long, but he can't quite get the damage that he needs in order to find kills. Instead, Hell's Devil will get the first one. Sedkin looking to do what he can, but he's in the midst of all four members of Netherlands, and he's going to go down. Now DeVoe, the next target. If DeVoe falls here, you got to figure it's going to be game for the Netherlands. They are pushing into the enemy base. They've got 3 members down. DeVoe will be the 4th. Nomad Vagabond will provide the ace for the members of the Netherlands, and they are backing away instead of finishing this game. This I don't like. This is just them now being arrogant. Too much. Yeah, this is just BM. This is just letting the minions... They're backing off, grabbing teleports boots, and coming back in to finish it. I don't like it, but it's their play to make. They won the team fight convincingly. They knew they had plenty of time to do so. It's not a good look, though, especially this. This is now absolutely not a good look. Netherlands just being arrogant and showing off against their opponents.
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about the last team fight. Honestly, I think Sedkin going back in there at the very end was a little bit too greedy. I do like the idea of potentially looking to get 1 or 2 more shots off, but actually dashing into the rest of the team. It wouldn't necessarily have won them the game if he was alive, but it would have definitely been a much better chance to be able to make use of Celeste running away and trying to be a little bit more distraction, potentially get some more stacks off with those shots.
Yeah, the thought was there, but again, just going a little bit too aggressive, as you mentioned, especially with the Slumbering Husk already having been popped. So much of the team's utility to keep him alive was already down as well. It felt like that desperation play trying to be made there, but it didn't work out, and unfortunately for Turkey, that is going to be them dropping the series 2-0 into the Netherlands. So Netherlands will pick up that victory, will move on to the next round where they will face Russia in the WESG European qualifiers. Again, Netherlands looking very strong in Game 1. A little bit shaky in Game 2. There were definitely moments for Turkey, especially early on, where they had control of the game, but just weren't able to maintain that control throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah, it really was. It was really well played up until that last bit. And so, I mean, I definitely like the style of these games. I think that really the shot calling is what has really shined in the 2 series today. Of just being confident as a team. We've talked about it before, is that with this WESG format of being forming just nationality teams, it can be hard to find to find that your actual shot caller and then to all actually follow what was going on there.
That's the thing both Russia and Netherlands had, was when calls were made, the entire team seemed to be following up with those calls. So that should actually be a fantastic matchup when we get there. But that's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Next week, we are going to be having our Group B matchups. But we'll quickly take a recap of today. You can see our series today were France and Russia. Russia taking that series 2-0. And then Netherlands also picking up the 2-0 victory against Turkey. And take a look at what that has done to the brackets. We take a look at Group A. You see Russia and the Netherlands will be going head-to-head in the Group A finals. And then over in Group B, this is what we're going to see next week on our WESG European Qualifiers broadcast. It will be Spain versus Romania and the United Kingdom taking on Germany. Those are going to be our matchups next week at the same time, same place. We will look forward to seeing you there. But until then, I'm Tasty Bacon. That's High Jump. Oh, go ahead. You can sign off yourself. You sign off yourself.
I'm High Jump. Thanks, man. I appreciate the
We're still working on getting our synergy down. We aren't quite at the level of these teams and their coordination just yet. But until next time, we will see you all later.